Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Fellowship of the D20. It is on like a polyhedron. Now let me hand it on over to our DM, Nem, for the intro and for the game, actually.
Awesome. Hey, what's going on, everybody? So it's been a hot minute since we played Silverlight Manor, so I'm going to kind of give you a one over the world, what was going on, and then catch you up a little bit about what had happened last time before we get right back into it. So, generally, what had happened is that our adventurers have been approached in another town and asked to come investigate the death and disappearance of a number of people at Silverlight Manor up above the town of Silverlight. So they traveled to Silverlight after some back and forth and meeting some various people within the town and also negotiation with the late Lord's son. They agreed to take on the task of investigating Silverlight Manor. They trudged up to the manor, and as they approached the manor, they noticed that there was a gloom and a darkness around it, and it actually emanated evil. Entering the manor, they began looking around, and they've done a number of investigations and encountered some fairly horrid things that almost killed them, including some shadows in various places, and one rust monster, which was very hungry for a number of different people's weapons, to include Mike's character, who somehow transmitted that knowledge over to Bjorn in another world, to be afraid of the rust monster, otherwise known as the Warrior's Bane. So, but our characters continued, and eventually they retreated from Silverlight Manor because they almost died at the hands of these shadows. And there was more investigation going on, and they really didn't want to go back, and renegotiated the terms of the deal, and were able to procure some magic and then go back up to the manor once again. There they went down into the basement, and they found the treasure room. They've been uncovering bit by bit the unraveling mystery of what exactly is going on, and they encountered and eventually defeated the shadows with the help of a new companion who was a paladin. And they had gone through that. They found some cheese. They found some rats that were invested in eating this cheese. They were very upset because it was a wine and cheese party, but the rats had come to it, and it was all moldy. And eventually they made their way back up out of the basement after looking into what was going on there, and went into the library and did some more research there. So at a very high level, that is what's been going on. But little by little, they have been uncovering a bunch of information about what has really happened and what brought about this curse on Silverlight Manor. And a lot of it has to do with these things called soul stones. And they're not sure what they are, but they found references to those all over the manor and about various, what may have been even illegal trade going on. But as we get ready to start and restart this adventure, our companions look around and notice that two of their companions, Devlin and the Paladin, have taken off and headed back to the town. Devlin wanting to go back, being afraid of the shadows. He's not really very interested in finding the shadows, and probably the Paladin to go to escort him. Will they come back another time? It remains to be seen. It really all depends on the work status and the availability of two people on another plane, which we shall not talk about. So... And with that,
perhaps he had another harp to try and destroy.
There it is. So with that, I will go back to my players. You are currently in the library. You have searched it thoroughly, and you found a number of interesting tomes, but you haven't really found anything that reflects on the unfolding mystery here. Though you have found some riches, like I said, a bunch of tomes and books on a variety of interesting topics, which Professor Thaddeus was thoroughly engrossed in and didn't want to leave this library at all. In fact, if it was up to him, he'd just barricade himself in here and read. And that's where
as long as the damn rats learn their place. Rats should not be attacking owls. It works the other way around.
For some reason, I don't have Eldon on here, so I'm going to put him on here.
I'm looking at a different part of the map, but I see Eldon.
In the room?
I see Eldon and Timothy both in a room.
Oh, I do see Eldon.
Yeah, I
don't see Ovac, so.
I see only the Abyss.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's all we got.
There we are.
Darkness.
There
we go.
Darkness
Ovac that was missing.
running me. All of that.
All right. So we are missing tonight Devlin Brimstone and our other our paladin adventurer whose name eludes me.
Yeah, I'm not going
I
to
don't
be any
remember
help with
either.
that one.
So we will, if you're really curious, put it in the comments and I will look it up. So, but this is where we're at right now. So you're in the library. I can describe the library for you very quickly again because it's been a while.
Sure, please.
So, Silverlight's library. It houses a unique collection of books, scrolls, and older stone tablets. The room has a warm feel to it, despite the house being devoid of life. Perhaps the books themselves bring some hope to despair and death at Silverlight Manor. There are two large windows, both in the north and to the east, that look out into the garden and the surrounding areas, and you can see the dark mist and the ever lowering sun out one of the windows. You can also see from the east door or east window, you can see the town down below and the glittering of the harbor beyond.
And we did find a letter that told us of some of these nefarious doings that you mentioned.
You found that in a different room, but you have found that, yes. But you found some treasure in here. You found 2 4-foot silver urns. You found 3 ancient stone tablets. There are several hundred books in the different shelves, and all of them seem to be of moderate value. But how you would loot them, if you do loot them, is a mystery that remains to be seen. Although, if I remember correctly, you've all determined that you could really give a damn about looting the young lord's house because you're up here dealing with this. So you're like, hell with it. We're taking it. So
Let's see if we did level up to level 3, didn't we?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Oh crap.
I didn't do that.
Hold, please. Everyone hold for a moment while our players level up to level 3. So
Okay.
Yeah, that means something to an artificer, I'm told.
Yeah.
Because I believe you milestoned us.
yes, I did.
I don't remember why I chose Alchemist, but I remember that that's what I was going to choose.
I'm sure it had something to do with spiders.
I'm sure it did. But I mean, I already have Timothy. He's with me. He's always with me.
So, just so everyone knows, if Mike's okay with me making this announcement about our new time starting next week. So,
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
yeah, we have some
good hit points.
scheduling conflicts that have arisen. You know, unfortunately, real life takes precedence over our fantasy lives here. So we are going to be rescheduling our regular fellowship game to Saturdays at the same time at 3:30, and we are going to be moving forward with our various side games for Circle of the 7 Dice on Sundays or whenever the mood takes us. So, you know.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
that should be fun.
I'm going to be endeavoring to teach those who want to learn how to play Warhammer 40K or Warhammer Fantasy Battles, and we may do some Warhammer other stuff. And then I know Jeff is planning a game for Marvel. So
yes, the 1984 classic Marvel superheroes RPG developed by TSR, the very people who gave us Dungeons and Dragons in the first place. Though our setting, at the request of the players, will be a somewhat modified one. It will be the not the amalgam universe, but let's say the 1970s progressed to today universe, where Marvel and DC had canon crossovers.
very cool.
You might run into Superman as easily as Captain America.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to anybody who wants to learn how to play 40K or fantasy battles for Warhammer. We'll do some of that, and
I'm personally looking forward to killing some people in both games.
All right, very cool. And
It is the face rip system, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Marvel face rip.
And Patrick's got to try and rip somebody's face off at some point just because of that. I'll Moon Knight style. I'll just carve it off.
I have developed an interesting level of sort of mechanics given Patrick's backstory and his power set that you should
nice.
enjoy.
Right on.
Given his psychic vampirism, his emotional vampirism.
Sounds pretty cool. Are there by any chance we came across what were they called? Soul gems or
Soul Gem.
Soul gems, yes. Is there anything
All right, there's
in
Thanos.
And
Yeah.
Eldon, for no reason whatsoever, tried to push one into his forehead, but when he just got disappointed.
I thought they looked rather attractive on my glove here.
But are there by any chance any books on those in this library?
You could go ahead and do a search if you wish.
I will.
All right.
Eldon says, if you give me an hour, I could attempt an identification on it. While you're searching for books, I mean, we could do the two simultaneously.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Now Eldon has ritual casting. He will sit down with Identify, and he and Timothy will ponder the soul gem.
What would you like me to roll for my search?
Are you just identifying one item, Greg?
No, you don't have to roll anything. It could just be a.
I can identify others. I think it's been so freaking long since I've cast an Identify.
It's going to be, as a ritual, it'll be basically 11 minutes per item.
Okay, well, if there's anything else you'd like him to cast while he's sitting there, he has no objection. It just means he gets to play with more stuff.
Yeah, that's why I was like, if you're just identifying one thing, it's not going to take you a whole hour, just basically 10 minutes plus the normal casting time.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
like I said, it's been a long ass time since I played a caster.
To actually search through the books, you don't need a roll at all. But if you want to understand or try and glean from the titles something that might illuminate or give you some information, you need to have either a knowledge history, arcana, or religion check. So
stand back. Books is where I live.
Well, perhaps you should look. I can barely read. I was more going by pictures.
Yeah. I got that.
All right. So you take the next long while looking through the books as Eldon.
Oh, shit. That's how you do it?
Nice.
I told you books is where I live.
Oh, Lord, he's going to start spouting off about the potential invention of the printing press and quill pens and inks.
And
disseminating knowledge to the masses was a blessing and a curse, it seems.
You disseminate something, all right.
Wasn't him calling the last time we did this the most lovable, unlovable character?
Yeah. So as Eldon studies the soul gem that you have found, Thaddeus and assisted by Ovac go through the various books. You find any number of interesting books, Thaddeus. You found one called A Story of Investigation into the Slaying of a Dragon titled Milter's Journey. You find a book on siege weapons of the Great War of Alkin, a trickster's volume of secrets and deceptions. You find one that Ovac is rather revulsed by called The Anatomy of the Orc.
Oh, yeah. Look at these pictures.
Okay, he might like the pictures.
Yeah.
I've seen the inside of orcs before, so has my blade.
You find one called Dr.
Fair enough.
Complete Collection of Folklore. And Professor Thaddeus is familiar with Dr. Thilo and thinks he's a moron. So
the man is an erudite idiot, if there ever was one. A complete charlatan.
I'd like to hold on to the trickster book. That sounds neat.
Okay. You find one called The Leather Crafting Guide, another called My Adventure to the Mountains by Hugo Mitrit. And finally, you find the next to last interesting book you find is one called Crafting Instruments for the Adventurous Bard.
Okay,
Oh,
we should bring that one too.
All right.
Devlin should have hung out a little longer, it sounds like.
Yeah.
The final book you find is all, it's bound all in black leather with silver inlay, and it radiates a slight hint of cold, but there is no writing on it whatsoever.
Okay, if that has an hourglass on it, be very, very careful.
Very nice pickup there for the reference. Good one. Plenty of inspiration.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
So while you're doing all that, let me go back to Eldon. So as they're investigating through these books, and they're going through and saying, "Oh, this is boring. Oh, this is stupid," and then Thaddeus is like, "This man is complete erudite," and he actually spits on the book and throws it on the ground. However, an owl spits. You complete your investigation into the soul gem. You're not able to determine exactly what its function is, although it possesses a strong sense of necromancy and charm magic on it. And you can feel that it is used to bind soul energy, the life energy of various living creatures to it.
Does it require attunement
Does it require attunement? No.
to use? I will relay the soul gem. You guys are not going to believe this. The soul gem that seems to be involved with evil is used for the binding of souls. That you would have never guessed that.
I would not. But
Looking
I'm
at
still
you,
kind of
Thad.
tripping on trying to imagine Thaddeus here spitting.
I'm just giving him a look basically like this.
Yeah, well, like I'm trying.
Like I am surrounded
I'm
by
trying to
absolute
imagine
idiots.
Thaddeus having a soul, but here we are.
Well, let us imagine both things together.
All right, I'd say high five, but I think I'd probably hit you in the knee.
And this
I'll do a midway knee then. How's that?
that is what a soul gem looks like. In fact, it actually refracts the light around it as you're looking
shit.
at it like that.
Realistically speaking, for those interested, it radiates both necromantic and charm magic, which isn't really a surprise in either case, but is a somewhat unusual combination.
Necromantic and charm magic? That seems like an odd combination. Is it just me?
You are not wrong in your assessment. That is an unusual pairing of those particular schools of magic.
But could facilitate drawing in the soul to bind it.
Oh. In the darkness, of course.
Oh, nice one.
Darkness.
7 souls of dwarves, 9 souls of humans.
Doomed to die.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
But there's a light over at the Frankenstein place.
all right. So
All right,
you have
Nim,
yes.
I would like to take a look at the stone, and I've just popped up a new ability I've gained at 3rd level here, where I can read it out for you.
It's in the past
Also, Jen,
24
if you could be quiet,
hours.
the rest of us are trying to talk.
Yeah, really, just all the noise.
Well, she is patently ignoring all of you because she doesn't want to listen to Thaddeus and just making sure nothing else is attacking us while y'all are doing your various things.
Oh, okay. She's watching her
Smart.
back.
Yep.
All right.
So
I
it's
keep
only-
imagining that Tex Avery cartoon with the bears trying to hibernate, like, noise! I can't stand the noise! Why don't you stop making the noise?
as you concentrate on it and try and reach into the stone to gather psionic imprints from it. The only person to hold the stone within the last 24 hours that you get an image of is of your companion Eldon himself. However, you occasionally hear a psychic scream emanating from the stone.
Why, I do declare, I believe this gem might already be inhabited. That is a supposition. It'll work in theory as I have no proof. But deep inside there, I hear a wailing of pain on occasion.
Should we destroy it? Maybe set it free?
No. So now one of the things Identify would have told me is if it were created by a spell.
If the stone were created by a spell?
The stone or the enchantment, I would assume.
Well, he told you the schools of magic.
The stone is a magical item that has been created through a combination of spells.
Okay. No, it's just if the item were created by a spell, I would learn which spell created it. If it were a combination, I presume I would learn that a combination.
Oh,
But
so you're thinking
not necessarily learn all of them, just learn that it was a combination of spells.
Okay, so you're thinking like it was made by like the creation spell or a spell like Soul Cage or something like that?
Well, if it were a singular spell, Eldon could tell what it was, but as it's multiple spells. But what Eldon is really hearing, and he'll share this with everyone, is if I were to use this when I remanifest Timothy, then Timothy would have a soul.
Possible. You also still have the black book that is radiating a slight chill.
Oh yeah, we got to check that.
Do we want your tiny spider to have a soul?
What do you have against Timothy?
I have nothing against Timothy, but I don't know what type of personality this spider will develop once we give it a soul, is all I'm saying.
Especially not a soul that has been, who knows, encased in this gemstone for how long, under what sort of duress or torment.
Now, I will agree with Dad there that it may not be a soul that I want to burden Timothy with.
By the way,
it may not be worthy of it.
I didn't know.
Let me take a note of this that I have been agreed with by somebody in this ragtag party of individuals.
I'm calling Guinness right now.
It is a red letter day.
You know it, T-Bird. High five.
I said that won't last.
I suppose in the spirit of the moment, I will.
Me and T-Bird are pals.
T-Bird.
Colleagues at best.
Well, colleague, shall we investigate this dark and menacing book together?
Oh, absolutely. I think two heads will be better than one in this instance. This book has an air of forbiddance about it.
I know, cool, isn't it?
Not the phrasing I would use.
Yes.
You were going to say something there a minute ago?
Yes. I had, I think I had mentioned, I wanted to make sure you guys remembered. I had mentioned at the beginning and start of this that this was originally taking place, was designed to take place in its own standalone, but I wanted to incorporate it into Faerun. So you are in Faerun. So I just wanted to put that out there. So.
I do remember you mentioning that.
And I have put you all on the city of, in the province of Dambrith, which is to the south and east. It's far, far away from Waterdeep and everything. So it's near Halrua. So, in fact, I placed Silverlight in the Bay of Dancing Dolphins. So I could show that to you guys eventually.
So we're like, from that description, we're like southeast of the Dales, past all of that.
Yep.
So we're south.
Yep.
It's what you call keeping it on the down low.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Eldon will recommend that we take this book to one of the well, these are shelves, to the table in the middle of the room where he can climb up on a stool and Thaddeus can perch or pull up a stool or however he prefers. And
Okay.
then I will have Timothy open the book so that neither of us are actually touching it.
Okay.
Especially since Timothy has no soul to lose at this point.
I
Yeah.
need a dex check for Timothy.
Well,
No, I'm
Clearly,
just
this was the good move.
yeah, exactly. Most of his checks are mine, but in this case, it's not. But we have the same decks, so it's close enough. Whoops, that was not supposed to be advantage. Just take the first one. 11.
Okay. As Timothy flips open the book, he is struck by a shock of electricity that goes through him. And you see him jerk and spasm for a moment and then settles and nothing. He's fine.
Well,
uh, can you see if Timothy is okay?
Timothy, come here.
He pauses for a moment and then moves over to you.
I just have him climb up on my shoulder.
where he
Okay.
sinks his fangs into your neck because now he's possessed by the spirit of the necromancer. He's got a soul.
He moves over to you. So
What earth
I don't
that
recall
was-
seeing him hesitate before he came over to you before.
yes.
Well, guess we'll find out. I mean, if it comes down to it, I'll just take him apart and make a new one. But
Let's hope you don't have to take some of those parts out of your neck.
ew, it's a wooden
Oh,
sweater,
gnarly.
Jack. You're gross.
I'm in a work.
Mike going for the jugular.
Why
I like
this
it.
working? All right.
Does he appear to be
So-
injured in any way?
He does not.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of creeped out by that. Let's see what the book has to say.
Okay.
All right. You look at the book, and the first on the as you open up the book, the title of the book goes "On the Magic of Haura and Its Influences by the Netherese Mages of Old."
Oh Lord.
Netherese mages? Okay, I'm suddenly nervous.
Oh my God. Me too.
Real quick,
I had some
Just-
friends that once killed a wizard connected to these people.
just to show you. So this is where way up in the northwest, and you guys are all the way down over by almost where the legend is. So if you look on that map that I showed you,
Oh man. Hold on. I
Hold
was
on.
trying to share it. There we go.
yeah. So I can't do the red little click thing, but you all are way the heck up on the northwest there. You see that like peninsula that juts out way in the southeast down there? You are in the north part of that peninsula. So
Okay.
that's where you all are taking place. And you know that Haura, there's a mountain range to the east there. Haura is a land of magic to the east right there. And Old Jethro was rumored to be in that area as well. So
Well, yeah, it was rumored to be in this area till it went boom.
Yep. So I just wanted you all to know that, because that's why I wanted to make it clear, because now you found this book and it's referencing on how ruin magic is influenced by the Nethril mages of old.
Okay.
Eldon just looks uncharacteristically serious and says, well, at least that would explain why some of this magic would be unfamiliar to any of us.
I'm not much familiar with any magic, really. We didn't
Not
deal with.
too many people these days are overly familiar with Netheril Ovak, except as a cautionary tale.
Can all of you give me a perception check as you're looking at the book?
Okay.
All right. Roll.
Oh,
Perception. Wow, I got a
Ooh.
6.
I'm more of the investigatory type.
I guess so.
I just don't pay attention.
As you are watching everything and keeping your eye on everything, Coral notices a
Thank
slight
God she was watching the door.
breeze go past Eldon and ruffle the pages ever so slightly, and one of the pages actually folds in on itself ever so slightly, almost like somebody dog-eared the page while you are watching.
I will point that out and
I will turn to the
that
page.
Hold on a second. Let's see. I guess I will pull out my crossbow and point it at the book.
So
I
Coral
will-
points that out, and Ovak is going to take extreme unction on the book there. So
You guys saw that, right? The page folding over.
I didn't see anything till Coral pointed it out, but now Eldon is turning the book to that page.
Okay. I'm not gonna shoot it, but I'm gonna keep my eye on it.
and you turn to the page, and there's a heading there that says, on the implementation and use of the life force in binding, strengthening, and summoning magic.
Oh, this is old school necromancy. Like a how-to manual. Is that what you're seeing here, Thaddeus?
I believe so. Unsavory.
Hey, what was that thing you did where you stared at the soul gem like you were looking for a soul in it?
I have in the course of our adventure, I have unlocked new areas of my mind, and it has allowed me to perceive something of the history of an item that I am intent upon.
Well, I'm certainly glad to hear you're starting to use your mind. I asked you to do something similar to Timothy to see if there is such a trace now, because there really shouldn't be, but I'm wondering what that zap was about.
Let us find out. I will focus upon Timothy. My psionic investigation.
And you will notice that Timothy is tiny.
You focus your mind onto Timothy, expecting only to see an image of Eldon holding him or constructing him. But overlaid over Eldon, you see a pair of bloodshot eyes and a sunken face that is ghastly and transparent.
Well,
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 should I shoot it?
um, Timothy might indeed have acquired a soul after all. There is a presence I sense lingering within.
Is it?
It does not feel very pleasant.
Well, I'm just curious. I mean, for
Allow me to try something anew. Nim, I
just
would like to try and make telepathic contact, see if I can communicate with an intelligence if there is one hiding within Timothy.
Okay. And what were
just
you going to say?
remember, Thaddeus, that there are two aspects to this, and this might be relevant. So, I would appreciate you doing it. Remember, Timothy is a homunculus that I built. So there's two components. There's the magical creature that is the homunculus, and then there's the onyx gem that I collected a few of that I used as his basis. So I guess you would be looking into the homunculus itself, but I could create a new one, and I don't know if the new one would have, if this thing would pass over, it would be trapped in the onyx that was the heart of Timothy, if that makes sense.
Now, my guess would be that if a soul attaches itself to a material object, that if you wanted to recreate Timothy sans this presence, you would need a new stone to be the focus of his essence.
And I have such a stone, but I'm and I don't know if you can tell this because this is weird to me even. But if I recreate the homunculus, would it attach to the homunculus as a magical construct as opposed to the onyx itself? I don't know. Anyway, if you want to try and make
Again,
contact,
I think with the essence of the homunculus being the stone is the requirement. Am I correct?
Coral,
yes.
can you give me a knowledge religion check, please?
Well, I think that will be the case. If you use a new stone, one that is untainted, you will be able to have your homunculus as he was, or a new version of him as it is not truly a living thing. And whatever is in the former stone, well, genie in a bottle, as they say.
I just would like to point out, totally out of character here, that we're about to see Thaddeus make an example of having just learned from books and not from real life, as he is about to make a psychic connection
Yep,
with this evil thing.
I'm here for it. You know, it's all academia till you get out in the wild, isn't it?
Yep. Yep.
It reminds me of that great line from Mimic. I'm sure you've seen Mimics. Like, you know, the Judas breed, they all died in the lab. And then F. Murray Abraham is like, yes, but you set them loose.
And Eldon says something is whatever it is writing Timothy. I think it's trying to talk to me.
Well, I'm going to see
He
if
must
I
be
can
really
talk
tiny to be
it.
driving Timothy.
I'm
It
gonna
just gives you the dumbest look possible.
All right.
I'm
What are
gonna
you
look
going
at Claudia. I'm gonna touch you with the tip of my tail, and I'm gonna cast Spare the Dying on you.
Oh, nice. I
I'm gonna.
might need that. Because I'm still like, you know, I went ahead and leveled up, but I've still only got 11 hit points from our last battle. We haven't had a
damn.
chance to rest yet, so.
Like you deal with only theory and books. I'm gonna try to protect your life force, but there are others that I have read about that could also try to tap your magical force.
Well, There is no risk without reward, and scientific inquiry sometimes requires risk. I am willing.
I gotta quote Kirk right now. Risk is our business.
Well, let us get to business then.
Yes.
All right. Focusing on Timothy, I'm going to try and telepathically make a connection with the thing if I can.
You reach out, and it's very strange. There's nothing resembling a mind for you to touch. It's almost as if you are touching nothingness full of energy. But you hear the whisper of a name, Sarthal.
Sarthol.
Sarthone?
At the
Sarthal.
same time, you hear Eldon whisper Sarthal.
Like snap my head around to Eldon. It's like, do you have extrasensory perceptions, young man?
Not usually, but I can communicate with my creations, and the thing in this one is speaking to me.
I am not getting any direct communication. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Normally, one has to have a certain level of intelligence to be communicated with. For instance, I cannot read the mind of an animal, but of a humanoid, yes, we can speak through mind-to-mind contact. But I get no real communication. But I did catch the name Sarthon.
Greg, as an artificer, can you see the magic in your constructs?
Sarthol. It's like menthol, but
I mean,
sorry.
with focus, if I focus on it, I can. Yeah,
Is it something that you would notice out of hand, or you have to actively do it? So
I would think I'd have to. Well, I mean, I know if it's injured, and that damage doesn't have to be physical, so I guess that's kind of your ruling.
since Timothy has been on your shoulder and this whole thing is going on, you feel the construct that you have created next to you, and in 97 to 98% of the way that you expect, it feels whole, but there is something different about it. I'm not going to say splintered. It's still whole, but it has changed.
Don't say splinter around Greg. We're gonna start a whole other thing.
Oh no, no, not again. They
That
shredded
isn't
it.
one complaining about rats.
Hey, well, I guess he's got you there on that one.
The rats are no friend of mine.
Not even
Something.
martially talented and wise rats.
If anybody has Arcana or History, they can make an Arcana or History check on the name Sarthal as well.
I definitely have some history.
And I have expertise on Arcana, so let's see.
I'm rocking that big brain.
Neither of those will help me.
I know nothing of history or arcana.
He's like, what did I do yesterday? Oh no, it's in the past. You're right. It's all ancient history now.
How do I know that that the past isn't fiction, derived to tell the difference between my immediate physical state and my current state of mind?
Well, that's downright philosophical of you. I suppose you might want to ask a sage.
A little bit of smoke comes out Ovac's ear.
Poor Oak.
Eldon looks at Thaddeus, and you see just the most minute flash of a pout before he gets control of it. He says, I am a sage.
I thought you were a maker of things, not a philosopher.
Well, there are two sides. One must know how to deconstruct what is available in order to construct that which is new.
Oh yeah, destruction, part of creation. I got it.
The big guy gets it. It's
So, you search in your minds for a reference, but only one of you, who I have whispered to, even recalls ever hearing anything similar to the name Sarthal.
Hmm.
it's speaking to me. That's what Eldon says.
Well, that
It's
name.
speaking to you?
That name pulls on the string of a memory. I do seem to recall that there was a Netherese mage that went by that name or something similar. But he was excommunicated, kicked out for practicing forbidden arts.
Like, what are forbidden arts?
Well,
In Netherrealm, considering that everything they did is considered forbidden these days.
precisely my point. How bad do you have to be considered too bad for such a place?
I don't know. In my case, I was too bad. I was too good to be considered decent for where I come from.
Coral, you're a death mage, correct?
Yeah, gray. The gray cleric. Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a religion check again.
Oh,
16?
It doesn't spark in your mind.
Hmm. Is that giant black spider on there, Timothy?
Yeah,
Because I thought he was like the size of your hand.
he is
but look,
tiny,
you couldn't
but
see that token on the map.
Okay.
since he actually can take actions, then put a token on it.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, Timothy is even on he. I mean, he can fit on Eldon's shoulder. Think of him like tarantula size, maybe a big tarantula.
He's familiar
Okay.
sized.
Okay.
He's like the size of a Goliath bird eater.
Sarthal is claiming he can help us.
Who's Sarthal?
The Netherese mage that we've been talking about that's currently possessing my toy spider.
This time, like it's like he doesn't even look at Ovek. He just like shakes his head, like I am just wasting my time.
We got to talking about the spider. My mind drifted.
Eldon would just look at the book and state out loud. So, how were you trapped in a book?
You feel the
He's got
magic.
his hand on Timothy.
You feel the magic weakening for a moment, but Timothy moves off your shoulder unless you prevent him from doing so.
Where are you going?
It continues to move and actually reaches for the soul gem.
Timothy, stop.
There's a moment of struggle of wills, and then Timothy stops.
I'm going to take my bag of holding that I made and give it to Thaddeus and say, can you put the soul gem in this, please?
Absolutely. Scoop it into the bag.
Ovek and Coral, please give me a perception check.
I am watching Timothy with great wariness now.
15.
Ovek, as the Thaddeus and Eldon are watching Timothy, you notice that the pages of the book have turned again and stopped further back in the book.
I want to look at the book, but I'm telling Timothy to get back on my shoulder.
Okay. Am I the only one worried about the book, like marking pages and turning and stuff?
Not all spirits are harmful.
Well, I
Some,
think this one's. I'm sorry.
no, I was going to say some do assist living.
Timothy goes back on your shoulder, Greg.
I think this one is trying to aid us, Coral, but but he's also obviously trying to get us to do something. Maybe finish his work.
That
So
would put him back.
I'm going to see what page it opened to now.
But is it the work of Sarthal, who was considered too bad for Netheril?
But
you see an inscription in a language that you do not understand with a diagram above the inscription. It is a fairly simple magic circle with the various runes inscribed in it. And in the middle of the circle, you see an object that you immediately recognize, a soul gem.
so, Sarthal, why were you exiled? I see what you wanted me to see. What is it would do?
All right, I whispered to you.
Have a care. You are not making a Faustian bargain, young man.
He's growing weaker. He's using the magic in Timothy to sustain himself, but he wants me to recite that incantation.
Hold on real quick.
And I resent that. The weave is not weak in my construct. He can turn the pages of a book as much as he wants. You're not scoring any points by trying to diss my craftsmanship. I don't care how long you've been dead.
I whispered something to Jen. So, but you don't hear much. You hear that the communication between you and whatever is inhabiting Timothy is fading, but it is intent, focused, and you feel in your mind that this is something that's asking you to perform this ritual. So,
can I make out anything about this page?
hold on for a moment. Jen, what were you going to say?
Eldon, before you go, I do remember fairy tale I heard from a monk of Mistra. It speaks of mages who live off magical energy of others and objects. So just keep that in mind.
I've heard of them as well, and I've usually heard of them in terms of stay away. I mean, there are rumors of a world where the mages are called defilers for that reason. They've drained its life force.
as you look at the book, Eldon, the words transform into, best I can describe it, a phonetic pronunciation, though you still don't understand what the words are saying. Ovak is watching all this, and he is keeping his crossbow trained and ready to shoot the hell out of that book. So,
Yep.
Hmm.
Whisper is what again? W
slash
/ GM.
/W and then just space and then GM. So, yeah.
Okay.
What was the cantrip you were trying to cast there, Jeff?
Oh, I wasn't trying to cast one. I was trying to load something up.
So, what do y'all want to do? As Mike bangs away on the keyboard.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna ask.
In what way does it say can you help us there, Eldon?
He's claiming to be a helper from the past. But he's also claiming that he's too weak, which would explain why he would have Timothy jump for the soul gem. Would assume that would lend him more power.
Is he trying to jump into you?
I don't know, but one would presume that if one of us had opened the book, he would have tried that.
Hmm.
He is claiming that this incantation, if I state it, would grant him health, power, and preservation and salvation, while granting me health, power, and preservation. I'll know just look at Timothy and say, okay, also be thorough. What aren't you telling me? If you fade here, I'm no worse off than when I entered the room, so be very clear.
What are you saying? What's going on?
I want to know what he's not telling me.
Obak is kind of looking around. He's seeing little things in the corner, and he's kind of jerking his head around. Did you guys see that?
Thaddeus will turn his head 180 degrees around to look at Ovak, because owls.
Oh
Give you the Linda Blair treatment.
Necromancy, charm, enchantment.
Just kind of looking up, looking around. I don't think I'm feeling well.
What's wrong with that?
I want to take a closer look at Ovak.
I'm
Okay.
not. I seem to be. I'm not sure if I'm seeing reality as it is.
Go ahead and give me a perception check. Anybody who's looking at Ovak.
Damn Skippy.
Oh Lord.
You know, it's the weak minds that are the easiest to possess.
$23.
Both
Oh,
Coral and Eldon notice that Ovak's pupils are dilated. They're huge. He's sweating profusely. He's kind of twitching and looking at different things. And the corner of his lip is twitching as well.
he is super fucked up.
Now, can I try an Arcana check to see if any of these pieces of what this man's telling me make sense in anything I've studied?
Sure.
I've already asked you his first thought. Well, it seemed a bit out of place, but 25.
I'm just not going to type. I was just going to tell you, but in your mind, it makes sense to the theory and the legend of the Defilers, and that he might be an entity who he's obviously or appears to be an entity that's feeding on the weave somehow. Whatever this ritual does may allow him access to the weave in a different way. And theoretically, you know from what you've heard about soul gems when you were recalling the information that they can be used to, how did I describe it? Strengthen, empower, and conjure magical effects.
Did you see the size of that chicken?
Well, yeah, it'll back till you ate it.
Huh.
Eldon will actually, he'll look at Thaddeus, but he'll turn to Coral and say, this spirit, I guess, is asking me to perform that ritual with the soul gem, claiming that it will give him health, power, preservation, and salvation, and give me health, power, and preservation. And it sounds like a defiler to me, someone who lives off of the weave, but I'm afraid of what he'd become, or be, or is.
It sounds like a warlock pact of some sort. I don't think I would be one to risk it.
Without knowing the language and the true nature of the spell, it is very dangerous.
Well, I could read it to you, but I think that's a bad idea.
Especially if the words Yancy Ben are on there.
Okay, we'll get back to Ovak when he unfreezes.
It's a for Grox.
There you go.
When you say that name, the storm begins raging outside, Ovak. Would you like to be transported to the Fane of the Eye? You, as third level characters, could deal with what's in there?
Yeah.
I hear there are baby dragons.
Yeah.
There used to be baby cockatrices, but some group of adventurers couldn't deal with that.
Yeah. I'll transport the four of you right into the blue dragon lair with her wounded baby dragons. We'll see how that works out. So,
Unfortunately, the cockatrices believe that everybody must get stoned.
yeah.
They're Bob Dylan fans.
Eldon again has a very serious look that you guys in the short time you've known him aren't used to seeing. I'm not torn here in as much as I think reading that ritual is a good idea. I don't. But I think there is information to be gathered, and I would think one could be exiled from Netherese society for being not quite so bad as they were, they're just as likely as being worse. But I don't want to be the person who lets a defiler loose on Varun again.
I personally am against it.
None of you
But
speak
the
Netherese, correct? So
Speak what?
Yeah.
none of you speak Netherese, correct? So
Given that it's not one of your usual options, no.
yeah.
no, but I can tell you it's on Eldon's to-do list now.
Okay.
What
I-
what what is a defiler?
In fact, I don't know that it's the real word, but I'm using it there, and Coral might know more. There were magi or some sort of power wielding creatures who drew sustenance from the weave directly and in such a way that they harmed it. They didn't guide it like a wizard does. They weren't born with it like a sorcerer. They didn't use tools to direct it like I do. They consumed it and turned it into something else. I
Like
mean,
leeches?
yeah, I mean, Coral, Thaddeus, if you got a better explanation, I'm open.
You know, actually, and I'm going to be shocked that I'm saying this, but OVAC seems to have borne down to the bare essentials of it. Yes, they parasitized the arcane ether, which is an unnatural usage of it.
And the legends say they either destroyed themselves and cast their floating cities to the ground, or Mystra did it.
Hmm. Well,
Okay.
Okay. At first I
What?
was kind of seeing things, and now I'm hearing things in my head.
Nem, tell me about this voice.
It's the same voice that you had heard before. So.
Is that what it's saying? Is that what I would be saying if I read this?
No, you heard
Okay.
this like somebody was actually in each of your heads, and you felt the weave actually bulge for a moment, time and space distorted, and you heard so Sarthal. It shouldn't say pass; it says passes, and yields to meh, and then it fades off.
okay, I thought
That
that was
didn't
like a
feel
weird
good.
OVAC thing for a moment.
Yeah, I was
Like
worried. that you were
OVAC has
okay.
gone into a rage.
Yeah.
I'm
was-
going to take a moment and I'm going to pull out some dragon bones. I am going to cast augury.
Augury. Okay.
But you said it was the same voice?
Yes.
That was Ovak puking the whole time and space, bulging thing in his brain. Didn't make his
Okay.
stomach feel very good, and he's not feeling good anyway.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yeah. Probably a little bit of
Okay.
puke on the book now.
You see Coral sit down. I will let you. What kind of divining tool are you going to use, Coral?
Dang it. That's not
I'm
what I
going to
wanted to
use,
do.
Rod.
I'm going to use the dragon bones.
Okay. She holds dragon bones and is concentrated on them for 1 minute, looking, summoning, whispering under her breath, and
Why
then
are we here?
casting
Consult the
bones,
bones.
asking your spell, your question. So, what course of action
it.
do you want to ask
Stop doing
about?
that.
I'm trying to find
Ignore
out
the
if it's
bird.
a
Follow the
good
bird.
idea to do the spell.
The bones clatter around, and to your surprise, they actually clatter for longer than what you would expect, and then rearrange themselves into a pattern that is troubling to you. You see one arrangement that you would interpret it as being beneficial, while opposite it and encompassing into the arrangement of bones that is beneficial, it also forms another symbol which would be harmful.
Gonna go, that was no help.
What
It
did it
will
say,
be both
Squirrel?
beneficial as well as harmful to do
Well,
this.
that could make sense. He did promise me power, health, preservation. I mean, that could be the beneficial. If he could provide those things, but I doubt that would outweigh. So Sarkel passes and yields to me. Man, Timothy's having a day. T-Bird, can you do that contact thing with Timothy again and see what's going on in there now?
T-Bird.
Hmm.
He's wearing a black jacket with greaser haircut going around.
Yo, where's my pink ladies at?
Yeah.
Going prowling, walk, talk like a T-bird. Grease 2. Let us try this.
Come to think of it, Grease is one of the few musicals I've ever sat through.
Do you try telepathic contact again?
Well, Mike,
I
Grease
am,
is the word.
but I'm going to step it up a notch. I will focus on my psychic focus for my telepathic contact. And that's going to allow me to use my telepathy with up to 6 creatures at once.
Okay.
So I'm going to piggyback these guys along for the ride to get their perspective on things.
Okay. You
Can't possess us all.
you contact everyone and look into Timothy. This time, you see nothing but the hands of Eldon creating Timothy once upon a time. Although there is a lingering effect of the face that you saw before, the eyes, but it is even more faded and gone than it was before.
Yeah, whatever is going on, he seems to be running out of time.
I think we just watched
Oh,
a
like the McFly
2,000-year-old
family
image
picture.
die.
Weird.
Fortunately, I'm wearing my Triple H hat, so I'm prepared to come off the top rope on him if necessary.
That'd be the Superfly Snuka.
That's right. Nobody comes off the top like Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Now
That's
that
right.
dude knew how to come off the top.
Although if Thaddeus gets up there, he's like, nobody messes with the macho owl, Thaddeus. Oh,
Lance,
yeah.
hitting you with all like 35 pounds of mass. It's like getting hit with a big pillar. I'm all feathers.
I am the macho sage, Professor Thaddeus.
Where's Evantor when you need him to boost the gravity there for you?
There you go.
How was my macho?
Turn him
How was
into a
my-
meteor.
How was my macho man there? So,
Ooh, it
Not too
made
bad.
me feel
Not too
like
bad.
snapping into it with a Slim Jim.
oh yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
Macho King.
What you gonna do, brother, when the power of the Hulkamaniac runs wild on you? So, yes, that's my misspent youth watching way too much wrestling. So.
And here's my quick impression of Gold Dust.
Woo! You know,
Yeah,
that's
there
what
you go.
it should be. So Rick got the Ric Flair going on. So all right. So what do y'all want to do now? The sun is getting low, and there's no Black Widow
Ovak.
looking at the hole.
Ovak wants to lay down.
I'm sure Ovak does.
We need to take the spell book. Or whatever it is.
I will grab it with some telekinesis using my mystic hand.
Okay.
The power of my mind. And, you know, I'll just open up, since Greg handed me the bag of holding, I'll just drop it in there.
Those are brain bullets, Kyle. Brain bullets.
I have the power to move you.
That's right.
As you're putting the book back in, it flips open to another page. It's a brief reference to something called the Pander Stone before you put it in. So.
The Pander. There's a wizard even more horrible named Kathleen Kennedy.
Yes.
Far more horrible than even Vecna.
Before you can break your telepathic contact, you blasted your mind. Put a check in it. Make it like a
No.
And the very last thing we hear is Oscar Isaac's voice saying, "Somehow, Sarko returned."
Oh no. Somehow I have been gender swapped, but I am a total girl boss.
Yes. Sorry,
I can do nothing wrong, and you all love me now.
I couldn't resist. With all these stones floating around, we had to get the Pander Stone reference. In there.
The Pander Stone.
Yeah. That was actually pretty funny. I watched that the other day.
Y'all need to run away from the Pander Stone. So, all right. So you managed to pick up the book with telekinesis and store it in your bag alongside the soul gem. You have had a rather strange encounter here with whatever that was. I will leave it up to you to decide what just happened. And you are still at Silverlight Manor. The late afternoon sun beginning to dip in the west.
It would probably be for the best if we were to exit the premises at this time before darkness overwhelms and those shadows, which gave y'all such a thrashing before, come about once more.
Do you think they're going to deduct the puke on the table from our pay?
Probably.
We'll blame whatever.
Sarthal.
Okay.
Sarthal.
Totally wasn't me. It was Sarthal. He totally puked on your table, dude. We were like, don't do that. And he was like, fuck you. And we couldn't do anything.
Put some puke in it. Make it lame gay.
That's right. Put some puke in it, make it gay.
Yes.
I
don't know what that looks like, but there it is. So, all right. So
It has a window cleaner in it, so it's kind of rainbow colored.
Are you going to stay in the house here, or are you going back to Silverlight?
Oh no, this is not the place to spend the night in.
No.
Okay.
This will quickly turn into Don Knotts and the Ghost of Mr. Chicken.
Yeah.
But the ambiance.
Yeah.
Do you think just for flavor we should run out of here screaming like little girls?
Yes, I do.
I do
think
everything.
you should.
I do everything with the utmost of dignity.
It just occurs to me we have now run out of this castle a few times now. You come in here and be like, nope, we gotta go.
There is literally a town right there with an inn, so why should we stay in the dark and spooky Scooby-Doo
I would like
place?
to point out that every time you guys have run out screaming, I wasn't here.
All right.
Thaddeus is counting that is the big difference.
You exit the manor and head back down the hill into Silverlight. As you are making your way back to the inn, which I can't recall off the top of my head. Hold on, Silverlight Port. To the Hall of the Sea Tavern and the inn there. You're met by. I'm hearing myself for some reason.
Yep, there's an echo.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But you're met by Lord Varios and his, I guess his fiance now, who is Reva. They nod to you.
Okay.
Have you cleared my house yet, sirs, madam?
No, but I totally just stopped some guy from puking on your table.
Some guy. There are people in my house?
Yeah, and he was trying to puke on
Well-
your table. I was like, dude, don't do that.
If it makes you feel any better, not only are they not living people, they are even less living than when we got here.
That's right. That's right. And we did that shit.
He shakes his head. You speak in riddles, sir, but I saw your companions, the two of them, ride in earlier, and now you're down again. It's been several days. I expected that it might be difficult, but how long do you think my manor and the town will be under such a spell, such a pall? I mean, look at it up there. You look, the moon is actually comes out of nowhere and like frames itself against the manor for a moment. There's a howl of a wolf somewhere, and you're like, you know. So.
Okay,
We
but
do carefully say we do not release the world.
you bring Paul into this.
What did you say, Jen?
I look at him and say, we go carefully so that we do not release it further so it could consume the whole village. If you would rather us go hastily, we can do that at your own peril.
Is it truly
Yeah,
such a serious
what she said.
situation?
Lad, you hired us to investigate a murder. In the short time that we've been here, we've discovered that someone in your house at some point in time was involved in the trade of souls, and I don't mean that metaphorically.
That's impossible. The only people that were ever in my house were my father, his servants, and his trusted butler, and also the constable of the city.
Oh, that's all? Was that like 5 people you just spouted off?
Yes, but they are all above reproach, especially my father, the butler, and the constable. I mean, my father was a Bellastorm, for God's sake.
No,
And
but
how many
approach.
servants were in and out? How many workmen? How many delivery people? How many visitors did your father attend on a daily basis?
We had a small staff of 20 or so servants, not to
So
include
now
the
we've
guard.
gone from 4 to 20, and that's not even counting people passing through town or official visits.
Speaking of 420, have you looked at your friend over here? So
Yeah, I have some things that may help him calm down.
have you learned anything about what has happened to my father besides this trafficking in souls, which sounds fantastical, to be honest with you?
I have learned not to eat the cheese.
The cheese.
Yes.
You mean the wine and cheese collection in the basement?
Yes, don't eat that.
What is wrong
It
with
has,
the cheese?
well, it has rather sadly become rat infested. I'm afraid it is not of a consumable quality anymore.
Oh dear.
Lord, whatever. Who is Augustus Bryden?
Augustus Bryden. Augustus Bryden. Refresh my memory for a moment so I don't have to look back at the thing. Where did
It's
you find
from
that
the
name?
letter. It's the person who wrote to Lord Eldon Ballastorm.
Okay. Augustus Bryden. I don't remember the name. I may have heard of him mentioned in passing once or twice, but why would he have doings with my father? I believe he was some sort of
Investigator?
cleric, or yes, he was investigating on the behalf of the Church of Helm.
helm. Oh man, the stick up that cult's butt
Dang
has
it.
a stick up.
Keep hitting the wrong thing.
I'm about to do some passing of my own. I'm gonna head on into the inn, and I'll be back.
Hey,
Okay.
Eldon reaches into a pouch. Ovak, put some of this in a pipe and smoke it. You'll be fine.
Uh, okay.
Put
I'm
this
gonna
in your pocket. So
I'm gonna reach out to I almost said Cirrus. I'm gonna reach out to Eldon telepathically. Is there
yes.
anything that you would want to know the absolute truth of from these people?
I want to know if he's ever heard of the Soul Gems, or if he knows the fate of Augustus Bryden.
All right then, I shall inquire. And I need, let's see, I will telepathically dip into this guy's mind. And he needs
Okay.
to make an intelligence saving throw as the little owlin just starts, those two are talking, but I'm just staring at him. I'm probing into his mind.
And Eldon will start to distract the guy with, "Do you like my spider? His name's Timothy."
So as you go into his mind, are you finding just information there? Is that what you're looking for?
I am. We'll do it twice because it says a question. So like I'll do it once for each question, so you can make 2 saves.
But
And
you have to ask it into his mind telepathically, correct?
yeah, so he just like hears this this intrusive thought that referenced Greg's 2 questions.
Okay. He kind of shakes his head for a moment. It's almost he's rehearing the question, although in a different voice. He's not sure what's going on. In answer to the first question, he has never heard of anything related to a soul gem. He knows nothing about it at all. He is being deceptive about Augustus Bryden, though. Augustus Bryden did contact him once and asked him what details he knew about his father's trade business.
I will pass that along to Eldon telepathically.
But, well, that was your question. So, yes, he has heard the name before.
What if we could contact this individual, this
Dang
cleric?
it.
He
Sorry,
was
guys.
doing work for your father and may have uncovered information related to your father's death.
Augustus Bryden?
Yes.
He looks uncomfortable.
What aren't you telling me, sir? Look, you asked us to investigate. We're investigating. That may mean we need access you don't want to give. We're going to find answers you only think you want. But if you want us to get to the truth,
Speak. I know that Augustus Bryden came to a rather bad end recently. He was investigating something or another, but you know as much as I do that I wasn't here. I was
Wasn't
elsewhere.
trying to do that.
But I was in Van Bergen for quite a bit, looking to be happily away from all of this in Silverlight and living the life of a son with no responsibilities.
I'm gonna do an insight check on him to see if I believe him.
Okay.
Oh shit! She insight checked the shit out of that.
He is telling most of the truth, but you have such a great look at him that you could tell he is afraid of saying something.
I cocked my head and said, "What are you afraid of?"
would you rather speak somewhere more private?
please.
Do you want to go to a booth in the inn, or do you have somewhere else in mind?
Come with me. And he gestures. And both his fiancee Riva and a guard that was with him begin following him, and he leads you to the closer to the docks in a way. As the sun has set, the docks are mostly deserted.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on his fiance and his guard as well.
There's rumor. It's been a rumor, and one of the reasons that our town has struggled so much with our trade and prosperity of taking the bounty of the sea beyond the Bay of Dolphins out into the Silent Sea. There's a splinter group, a cult of Umberly, is the whisper. But they have allied themselves with another cult, the cult of the dragon.
Sorry, the Cult of the Dragon?
Yes. These two together, it sounds too fantastical. And this cleric was peddling conspiracy theories as he came in investigating this, talking about a great threat that would arise from the fusion of Umberly and the undead dragons. And he asked me,
Undead dragons?
yes. It's too fantastical. It's ridiculous. But I cannot deny that the city's fortunes have taken a downturn in recent years. Even as far away as Van Bergen, I had heard about what was going on. But my father was still prosperous. I had money every month. He was sending me generous amounts of money. I do not know where, but the trading business was prospering, and I didn't care. I had ale. I had entertainment. I was in Van Bergen, away from this place. Who cares what was going on in Silverlight? And then Augustus came to me and asked me, and I told him truthfully, I don't know and I don't care. And so he said he was coming to talk to my father and that he had already written him. And then Augustus died badly. That is the truth. All of it.
How did he die?
Badly.
Well, see, somebody else wanted to be the
Those
emperor.
people do.
He was torn and dismembered,
Ooh.
and his body parts were scattered in various directions.
Okay, so you've heard rumors of a joining of forces between a cult of Umberly and undead dragon worshippers.
It's a sailor's tale.
Your town's fortunes kept going down, yet your father had plenty of money. And you tried to dismiss me when I said there was something odd going on.
My father was a shrewd businessman. There are other
Yeah.
towns to trade from.
I don't know if you're a liar or an idiot.
He was about to say, well, I'm not a liar. So
I'm also watching his fiance in the guard for any reaction to any of this.
there you have no reaction at all.
None? So they're not surprised by any of this.
No.
Mm.
So I'm going to look straight at her and say, so you've been here. What happened?
With?
How were the Lord's coffers flowing so freely while the town could bring in nothing from the sea?
Reva was,
If you say shrewd businessman, we are going to leave, and you can all just die in your cursed little town.
I did not work for my lord in that capacity, but I knew that beyond the contracts he had with the people of the port and trading with what came from the ocean, he had overland contracts that extended many places, including a recent windfall to the north.
And who were these people that he dealt with involving the recent windfall from the north?
Dwarves. There were dwarven miners who had delved into
Too
an
deeply.
ancient structure, and they said
And
they had found a
found
large trove
interesting gems.
of gems and gold and weapons, which the Lord agreed to caravan overland to be sold throughout the region.
A dragon hoard of treasure?
I do not know.
A crashed Netherese city?
Netherese? Well, now you truly are speaking of fairy tales. I doubt that they ever existed, my lord.
Who said that?
Reva, his fiance.
Reva, there was a Netherese mage living in the library of Silverlight Manor until about 2 hours ago.
All of them look bewildered and a little amused.
Okay, living may be overstating it a bit. Present.
Either way, I do know that my lord's coffers became significantly fuller at that point. We were doing good trade, and there were people that were actively lobbying for my lord's wares and came to visit him a couple of times to that regard. And so
And
the
now
fall off from fishing and overseas trade was fine, especially considering that what has been going on, it is not so easy to get to and Baldur's Gate anymore overseas. And so our ability to trade overland was quite profitable.
Mhm. And your lord dying, his manor being inhabited by shadows.
Well, she kind of pauses out of her depth for a moment. And Lord Farios looks at you as obviously that is taking quite its toll on its town. Well, until I could get up to the manor, I don't even know if I can reestablish the overland trade routes or what they were. I don't know. And as you can see, not much is going on in the port at the moment.
Why can't I remember the name of that?
It's like, either way, we are really at a loss at the moment. We do not have good relations with Howrah to the west to trade with them. The dwarves of the No Watch Mountains are the ones that we were working with before. We trade with Lure into the west when we can, which was our overland route. But unless we get that reestablished, we're doomed.
When did you last see these dwarves?
Are you asking that to Reva?
To the three of them. Any of them.
The Lord of the Guard. The Guard has no idea. He's a hired thug. The Lord is like, I have never met them. And Reva was, I saw them negotiate the contract while I was serving my Lord several years ago. And I saw them once more after that. And I have not seen them since.
Okay, there are some very nasty people using your town to trade in souls and magic that consumes them. You don't want to believe me? Fine. Good luck living out your life in Silent Hill when the man with the pyramid head and the axe comes by. Tell him hello. If you want us to keep investigating, you're going to have to start paying attention.
Well, I'm not sure what I'm looking for, but if you say so, I will acknowledge that. But at this moment, I am simply waiting to get back into my tower, my home, so that I can begin working again.
I mean, it's right up the hill. Just follow the path. Doors open.
Well, obviously, it hasn't been cleared yet. Correct? Or are you saying that you have solved the mystery and cleared it of its dangers?
No, but you're telling me that I'm wrong about the dangers.
I believe that there are dangers. I don't know one way or the other what the nature of them are, but I believe that they're there, and I have all faith in you that you will be able to clear them. All of you.
Hey, Pops.
Hey.
What's going on, Pops?
I sent you a message.
Hey, much love, man. Who? Me?
You, yeah, I sent you. I whispered to you. Progress of what's going on with OVAC.
Jeff, are we still all psychically connected?
Yeah, I'll keep it up.
That would be outside in the outhouse. Everybody give me a perception check.
Oh, boy.
In the meantime, Coral and Thaddeus hear Eldon psychically saying, "What does she see in him?"
16.
I think I might be glad that my perception check was low this time.
Yeah, like I think I might be sad that my perception was good this time.
Well, you don't have to roll, Mike, because you're right there. You perceived it. Thaddeus, the worst, foulest stench is in the air, coming from the direction of the end. You know not what it is.
Is it the funk of 40,000 years?
Yes, it smells like the undead. It really is bad. So,
like, if there is any paint on the end at all, you can see it kind of peeling off.
The problem with being a bird is I can't wrinkle up my nose to limit the smell because it's a beak.
It is horrific. And there are people actually fleeing the inn at the moment. So.
Elden will start pouting his patches a little bit. He'll pull out just some sprigs of mint and offer them to Thaddeus and Coral and these other three idiots.
I will take them without a word and just shove it right into my little nose holes. I start breathing. I start panting.
As long as you're
breathing
cool
through my
with
mouth.
that, man. I figured he carries components and herbs. He's an alchemist.
That's fine. So, as you do so, you notice that the Lord is kind of like reaches out his hand. Please, may I have some of that myself?
Yeah, he was offering to everyone here.
They're like, I think that this interview is at an end. You might want to go to the. Oh, go wherever you wish. We will speak soon. Good luck with the end. And they take running off.
OVAC has cleared the house.
I'm not sure, but I think part of my soul came out.
Yes.
Well, if that was part of your soul, it's a part you no longer need.
It's a part you no longer want.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know you could perform an exorcism in the privy.
Well, now you know. A multiple exorcism.
The more you know.
That's right. And knowing is half the battle.
So knowledge is power.
Whether she should do a lesser restoration on him to cure up what's wrong.
Sure.
You have removed curse.
Basically, remember he ate all the molded cheese?
Yeah.
In the thing, and so I'm playing it that he had these
And now
ill
he
effects
is-
from the
he is-
cheese. Yes.
He is cutting the cheese.
You need
That's
gust
right.
of wind. That's what you need. So,
Oh, there's a few of those coming already.
Yeah, because stinking cloud has been cast.
I think you should go. I think you should go back to the manor now. You have a weapon of mass destruction on your side.
We just bottle this shit and throw it in a room before we enter.
He's tripping on that rat defiled cheese.
All right. So what do you guys want to do? You can go back to the inn once it eventually settles down, and you can then trek back up to the house. Or do you have more questions you wanted to ask, or what do you wish to do?
Are there any people down by the docks, like by the fishing boats?
There are a few that are finishing up, with their meager catches. There's a couple who are of people who are guards who walk along the dock, who appear to be like night watchmen, not actually guards, but keep watch on the boats and things like that. But only a very few people who are finishing up what work they have before they go back to their homes or wherever they go. So,
how do they react to the small white-haired gnome with the goggles wondering about them with a spider on his shoulder?
yeah, they've heard about you. They don't really care, so they recognize you. So,
Just want to approach someone, I guess it's tying up their nets or whatever. Say hi.
okay. And welcome to you, sir. What can I help you with?
My name's Eldon. I'm trying to figure out what's going on in your town. Originally, we were hired to find out what happened to Lord Eldon. No relation. But then I heard rumors about some Umberly worshippers that might be giving y'all trouble.
Hey,
Is that
well,
true?
I've heard the same rumors, but I haven't seen anything, if that's what you're asking.
But have you had a hard time catching fish?
It comes and goes, but there are some who say that Umberly is angry for some reason, and she takes her anger out all of us.
Isn't she always angry?
Sometimes she's more angry than at other times, if you get my drift. I don't understand what exactly is going on with Umberly, but it's
Inside
not for
check.
me to know. So,
Yeah, actually, let me try an insight check.
I wanna know if he actually knows more about Umberly than he's admitting.
okay.
16.
And that's Eldon. And what about you, Jeff?
Oh, it's coming,
All right.
and it's big.
Oh,
Fickle is the heart of the sea, me boy.
I feel like Greg. I feel like Cirrus getting all the high rolls. It's glorious.
You feel that he's telling a part of the truth, both of you.
huh. Sir, we're not trying to cause you any trouble. We're just trying to help figure out what's going on here.
He looks around. He's like, look, I've fished these seas for 30 years, lad. I've heard more tall tales than I care to say. In fact, I heard one once about some black-skinned elf who sailed the seas and killed pirates way off to the west, and I never believed none of it. But I will tell you this. Anyone who tells you that Umberly and this cult of the dragon are combining forces is full of shite.
Why is that?
Because they hate each other. Plain and simple. The cult of the dragon is always looking to do something or another in these parts, and they've always been defeated by Howard anyway. We don't have good relations with them, but them damn good-for-nothing mages are good for one thing, which is killing people who are part of the cult of the dragon. If you get my drift, he spits on the ground. But as for why Umberly's angry, well, I blame it all on them clerics. That's what I say.
What clerics?
clerics from up north, the clerics that seek to civilize us. And he looks disdainfully around. And to keep us from the old ways and the old traditions.
What traditions are those, may I ask?
Well, lad, if you were going to someone's home, would you go into their home without asking permission and or giving and paying the tax that's required or giving them a gift?
No, we never enter homes without permission.
No, suppose not.
Exactly. So, if you're going into the Queen Sea bitch's home, you bring her a gift and you ask her permission. But now the clerics of Tyr and of Helm and those who are associated with the dwarves up there and the Hold and the Hammer with Morden and all them lawful good pricks up there telling us that it is against the law. In fact, it is immoral for us to make offerings to Umberly if we go out into our sea. And she's angry. Not only that, I believe there's something else going on, but I know for a fact that since we stopped giving the gifts to the Queen of the Sea, she has not blessed us with those blessings. In fact, she's made things worse. My own boy pulled overboard by a whole boatload of tuna not 1 year ago.
Wow.
I'm sorry to hear that. What, if I may ask, is a gift to Umberly? What does one offer?
You offered her steel.
Oh, I did not know that.
She requires arms or bracelets of steel, and you fast them in. And then, but only if you see a shark, you cast steel at the shark, because those are the children of Umberly. But, and I can't remember the goddess's name, who is the good Queen of the Sea. But it's like, but if you see her sisters, heralds, who our fair port is named after, it's a Bay of Dolphins, because we have always been blessed and been under her protection, then you give gold. Because the queens of the sea, her sister, has her handmaidens are the dolphins, and we throw gold to them, and it brings us good luck and good fortune.
Let me ask you this then. So the clerics have forbid you from continuing in the practice that has served you well for generations, yes?
Mm-hmm.
What is to stop you from doing that anyway? You just load a crate with your favored provisions for the appeasement of the gods of the sea. Just carry it on board. None the wiser. The clerics go out with you as chaperone.
They watch and they know. They accuse us of being in league with Umberly, in league with some cult of theirs that exists somewhere out in the Great Sea, where what I know not. They accuse us. They have even taken long ago over. Let me think about it for a moment. 3 years ago, they burned an old lady who used to live right here at the stake for being in league with Umberly.
You see, this is precisely why
Clerics
mortals should have
Tyr,
nothing to do with gods.
Clerics
Nothing
of
but trouble.
Tyr and Helm burnt someone at the stake?
Yes. They said they gave her a fair trial and they uncovered her compliance and complicity with being in league with the evil queen bitch of the sea. And perhaps she was. But she never harmed me or mine. So live and let live is what I say.
Now, does that track with what he knows of clerices of Helm and Tyr?
Helm and Tyr are upholded to clerics of Helm or paladins of Helm are sworn to protect and guard. Clerics of Tyr are sworn to and paladins are sworn to uphold the laws of whatever region they're in. So you would have to know what law, but it's possible.
but not imposing their own laws.
No.
And the
Yeah.
burning, the part that's really catching his attention is the burning a woman at the clerics of Tyr burning an old woman at the stake.
I am all for civilized authority. I am all for the rule of law. However, I must admit this is a case where it does not seem that the punishment fits the crime.
I'm not a religious scholar, but it doesn't track what I know of. I mean, Tyr came to the Vernian gods for justice and upholding the law, but he doesn't impose his own.
Precisely, this seems a mite extreme and rather unjust, in my opinion. However, I would like to know more about the situation.
Well,
One should not pass judgment rashly.
I can tell you, sir, that here in Dambeth, we are just a simple people scattered along several villages, with the largest city being Van Bergen. We, I suppose, owe most of our laws to those who exist to the north, along the great trade route and in the Shar. You would have to ask them.
Hmm.
Did you ever meet a cleric called Bryden?
Oh, yes.
What was your impression of him?
He was one of those fools pushing the theory that Umberly and the Cult of the Dragon were together. But he asked quite a bit of questions about Umberly.
That's really loud, Jeff.
As you can imagine, when he asked those questions, I did not want to speak to him. I still remember the old lady who was burned at the stake, and he was a cleric of Helm after all. Somehow, my accent has become southern as I continue to talk. So.
We're told that someone tore him apart, literally.
It wouldn't surprise me. He wasn't well liked when he came into town. This is a small port, well, relatively small. We don't forget things like a woman being burned at the stake, and although it was strange, nobody really knew the woman. She kept to herself. We still remember the execution, that's for damn sure. Not only that, he comes to town and makes accusations, not only against us, or against our Lord, but against this town, about what's going on, and that there's some secret cult of Umberly. Next thing you know, who knows? If he makes a report further up north, perhaps we have clerics and paladins coming from the north down here. Either way, I can tell you I had nothing to do with his death, but it wouldn't surprise me that there were people looking for him, and if his fairy tales were true, perhaps they found him.
No, he's, from what we can determine in our short time here, he thought something dangerous was happening here, but he thought someone was using your town. He didn't think your town was the cause.
I don't know anything about that, sir.
He was concerned about outsiders. Ironically enough, he was concerned about outsiders bringing danger to your town.
All I know for sure is that I pull fish from the sea when Umberly ignores me.
Yeah, I would say do your thing. I don't know. Thank you for the information.
You're most welcome, sir. Looks, he goes, you might be thinking me a bit presumptuous, but a copper piece for your trouble, sir.
Is he asking me for a copper piece?
Yes.
I'll give him a silver piece.
Ah, he tips his hat to you. Much obliged. This will make life a lot easier for me and my remaining family for the rest of the week. Not even that, for probably the month. Good on you, sir. And I hope you discover what's going up there at the Silverlight Manor.
Thanks. Me too.
Maybe you can afford an air freshener so you can stay at the inn.
It smells like the foulness of the marsh, though I don't know how it came all the way from Howrah, but oh Lord, it's a mighty strong odor that's coming.
One can only hope the gods will bless us with fair wind off the sea this evening.
Yes. Perhaps the she-bitch dumped a load over there by the dancing mermaid. All right.
Eldon's gonna walk to the end of the pier and take out one of his steel pitons and look from side to side and just toss it in the water.
Nobody pays attention.
Now give them their fish and I'll walk back in.
Toss it in the hold on. Toss it in the water, like by the inn, or toss it in the ocean.
In the ocean.
I thought he went down the pier to do that, didn't you?
Yeah, I misunderstood. As you toss it in the ocean, you look closely because it's dark, so you can't see it, but you swear it disappears before it hits the bottom, and you see a great white shark swim by the mouth of the port.
Holy
You're gonna
crap.
need a bigger boat. No points for the Jaws reference?
Yes, good point. Good one. You already have point of inspiration though. So.
He's just looking around again. Do I see any other sea life?
See any what?
Sea life. You said I saw a shark swim by.
No, you don't see any other sea life.
Now he's curious. He's just, if no one's around, he's gonna put a gold piece in the water.
As you flip the gold in the water, you see it tumble down and continue down and strike the bed and stay in the bed of the seabed there because it's not that deep of water. So
There was just a great white shark in that water.
Yeah, but the sharks don't care about the gold.
I was referring to the depth of the water.
They can swim in 3 feet of water.
Yeah.
No shit? Okay.
Yeah.
He'll throw another piton. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Now he's probably going to overplay this, but he's just curious.
you throw another piton into the water. Something similar happens once again. But you hear a clanging of a bell and a shout of "Yo-ho!" and several people. There are several different bells along the port, and the one that they struck, you don't know if they sound different, but evidently there are quite a few people that rush out, and they get into two boats, and you see the spouting of a pod of whales past the entrance to the harbor go by, and they take off after the whales in the
Time
boats.
for some Herman Melville action.
Yep.
Don't chase the white one.
That's right.
I guess if we're all going back to the inn, he's going to tell everyone about this.
Okay.
Like the fisherman said, throwing steel, and he's going to tell everyone quietly. What was an appeasement to Umberly, so I threw some
I think
steel.
we would all like if we were just talking to that guy, we'd have just watched you walk to the docks and do that. He's like, what's he doing over there?
And the only one that wasn't there was Ovek. So
Ovek's sleeping right now.
Well, I threw one in, and then I saw a shark swim by, and I threw another one in, and then I saw a pod of whales.
Are you saying you just threw one to Umberly?
Yes, and she
Okay.
she sent whales.
Okay.
I mean, hey, they give her steel, she gives them fish. She may be an evil goddess, but I don't see anything evil in that agreement.
and
I mean,
Um,
Coral, did I do bad?
and the gold the good god of the sea is a lesser deity called Valkyr, who is actually associated with Tempest. He's considered his ward or nephew.
But Umberly must have a pretty tight hold on the bay because the gold was not collected. Not like the steel.
Like
Well,
a roll of
they-
religion is
Oh,
what I
with
think.
this,
Oh, what were you gonna say, Jen?
She's
I roll
rolling a
religion
religion to see what she thinks.
What I
of
know
it.
about the Umberly situation.
was the shark collecting the coin?
No.
No, nothing collected the coin.
According
The
to
first coin that he threw in there.
That wasn't
he
a
said
coin,
the
it was
gold
a-
one went to the bottom.
A steel piton disappeared in the water, and then you saw a shark pass. And when we
Jen-
threw the second piton in, it's a similar result.
you recall that you have had to study, just the basics of all of the other gods and goddesses of Faerun, so you could see where they were wrong, so that you knew that you were right in what you were worshiping.
Hmm.
You recall that when you studied about Umberly, that there are superstitions among pirates and fishermen and others who ply their trade on the sea, that Umberly seeks steel because it makes her happy remembering those who have drowned while crossing the sea, specifically those warriors whose souls she's able to claim and hold on to as they sunk into her depths with their arms and armor. And that steel pleases her, and she rewards those who make offerings like this unto her with the bounties of the sea, or she can also, according to the legends, which your people discount, fend off various dangers of the sea, to include storms and waves and the such.
I'll let him know. I said, it depends on what you believe. There are superstitions about what is probable. Most people think that the offerings she pleases her because it reminds her of those lives given to her to the depths of the sea and battles, and she gives thanks by giving the bounty of the sea back to those who gives her remembrances and makes her happy.
Okay, so I mean, it's not nice, but if a fishing town throws some steel in the ocean and it helps them get fish, that's not really a bad thing, is it?
It depends upon your beliefs.
I suppose
I
it's
believe
like
people
paying
need
a
to eat.
tax to an overbearing overlord.
In Ovak's sleep, he says, "Amen." People need to eat.
I mean, the people of Faerun didn't put her in charge of the oceans.
Or did they? Gods require worship. Or they wax and
Go ahead.
wane on that.
Yeah. Chickens, eggs, it's turtles all the way down. I get it. It's a rich tapestry.
Go ahead
But
and give me
these
another
people-
religion check, Jen. So
Sounds like Umberly requires worship.
All do if they want to retain any sense. Oh, well, you're not here. I'm answering a guy sleeping in an inn.
I'll
I
just
just had to make a pun. It was sitting there. I had to say it.
Oh,
to Jen. You remember an image from the book, but not what its significance was, because it didn't seem that interesting to you. But under the inscription for Umberly, that talked about the steel, it showed a picture of a very young man clad in armor, but he was bound and being thrown into the sea off of a boat.
human sacrifice.
Okay,
I'll just say, they also, you can take it however you want. Little small trinkets I see no harm in, but I seem to remember they also would sacrifice warriors and armor to her as well, which isn't quite the same.
no.
I mean, the harmful
No.
aspect.
I would agree with that.
It depends on whether or not they were willing.
Or whether the guy was a dick. But the bit about clerics of Helm and Tyr burning a woman at the stake seems a bit unusual.
That doesn't track from what I know of those particular cults now.
I mean, again, the average paladin of Helm, the stick up their ass has a stick up its ass. But they don't burn people at the stake.
Man, the
But
angle
we don't
on
know the
that just
local laws either that they may have been trying to enforce.
Well, I think we could find out pretty easily if there are laws here about burning people at the stake for trying to fish.
It was that, or if it was in protest of an offering to a god that no one wanted them to offer to. We don't know that it's necessarily Umberly.
No, that gentleman says pretty much all about Umberley.
But we do know that at least one purported cleric of Helm believed that there was a cult passing these soul gems through this town. So it wouldn't be the first time that people lied about who they were representing.
Are you all speaking about this telepathically, or where are you at when you're speaking about all this? And
If we're still telepathically connected, then yes, I would be keeping all of this telepathic. But I'm also walking back to the inn because I'm hungry.
Everybody give me one more religion check, please. And or for Thaddeus, you could give me a history check.
Believe it or not, my religion is as good as my history.
Thaddeus and Coral, you both recall at the same time that Shar, about 50 years ago, most of the Shar had a rising church in it, and that quite a few of the nobles in the regions of both the eastern and western Shar have fallen under the sway of what might have been a new god, but is currently also associated with one of the current gods, but this whose name was Amonitor, otherwise known as Lathander.
I don't know if you can hear those sirens, but I think they're coming for Ovak.
Yes.
Yeah, they're outside my window.
And for so you remember that from that, and then everybody give me one more religion check as well.
Whoa, Jen crits.
Coral, you remember, as you remember all this, and then I'll let you guys role play and share it amongst yourselves. As you remember the name Amonitor, you remember that was an ancient deity that was around during the fall of Netheril, who was considered to be a sun god. And since the time of troubles, Lathander is now thought to be the reincarnation of this ancient sun god, Amonitor.
I'll let everybody know what I remembered. Like,
Yeah. Maybe these others are trying to starve Umberly out. Yeah. Not so easily done. Takes a lot to kill a god.
time is it, Nim?
Right now,
Like right now? Yeah, in the game, what time is it? How much of the evening has passed?
10 or 11 at night. So
Okay.
you've recovered from your mighty shat if you want to get up. So
Okay. I I feel like I've been billed.
And in the midst of all these ancient and weird cults, we've got the spirits of Netherese mages and soul gems.
Now let's discuss it over a hot meal. I am still
Here.
weary from our previous excursions.
this is a brief description that you might know. So
Yeah. Not sure how that plays into things.
and the rumor among certain academic types is that a monitor had replaced or was the reincarnated into Lathander, that's the description. So, and there are still thriving religions of Lathander all over the place. Lathander.
Lathander. Let me check this out. What's this say?
All right. I need to step away for just a moment. I will be right back.
Okay.
Is it tea time?
It's way past tea time.
It is tea time, but it's also pee time.
Ah.
Well, don't mix the two.
Do we have a something to play?
Any commercials, Mike?
Well, I mean, not really.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Well, I must say that I do not believe in the black elf pirate
yeah.
because we all know black people can't swim.
Oh, Jesus. That's Bracy on Twitter, everybody.
Okay.
So,
Since Drow are supposed to be racist now anyway, all that bullshit.
so
All right, I changed my mind. I am going to play a video.
All right, I'll be back. I'm gonna go to the P2, so I don't have to listen to my husband.
I think you're supposed to leave the pee, not go to it. I'm just saying.
Well, isn't it funny? Like you always say, like, "Oh man, I gotta go take a shit." Like you're supposed to like deposit a shit,
Right?
That's how it works.
a man goes into a bar with a chicken under his arm. The bartender looks at him and goes, "I'm not serving you. You're too stupid to drink here." And he goes, "How dare you say that to me about my chicken?" He goes, "I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the chicken." So, but oh man. Hey Jeff, did you send me that stuff yet? By the way,
I have not.
all right, just making sure. Why does it sound like there's a hookah around here somewhere?
A hookah.
I have no idea.
A hookah, whatever those things are called.
I wouldn't know
Like a
anything
hookah is
about
like
that.
a hookah
Yeah.
is like a pipe system.
Yeah, I thought I heard like a bong or a hookah just now. Somebody like toke it away.
Oh no, Mike turned
Mike,
off his camera. I heard suspicious
Yeah.
noises.
why did I
He's
hear water?
medicating.
Why did I hear water bubbles over there, Mike?
Yeah.
I'm experimenting with some anal depositories.
Oh, great.
So you're a method actor. All right.
A man walks into a bar with some anal suppositories.
Well,
The
I mean,
bartender tells him to get his ass out of here.
A man walks into a bar and uses some anal suppositories. The bartender points at him and says, "Get out of here! You can't leave that shit in here." So, there it is. What up, Bob?
You're getting worse.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah.
You've dropped below the level of dad jokes.
by the way, did you look at any of that 40K stuff on Roll20?
I have not yet. I was too busy effing around with AI stuff. So
Do I have to give you 30 lashes with the wet noodle? I will full on starch the fuck out of your back right now.
Dark. Man, I haven't heard it put that way in a while. Yeah, we gave him a good starching. That'll show him a thing or two, right? Yeah.
don't make any promises you don't intend to keep, big boy.
You know what's going to happen? Hey, tell him to come over here. I'm going to paste him one.
Yeah. That's right. Frank Rizzo. That's right. R-I-Z-Z-O, I said.
We're going to bring back all the archaic language, right? See?
Did you guys ever listen to the Jerky Boys at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were the ones that did those prank calls and stuff,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Hello?
listened to that.
One of my favorites, my brother and I still do sometimes. We're like, "Hello, I'm very sad. I've been bitten in the eye by cobra. I was sitting there playing the flute. The cobra bit me in the eye. Now I got poison eye. Ah! Sir, if you've been bitten by a cobra, no, it's a poison eye. I was doing playing the flute. It's like, oh my god. Or the
It's
one with
astounding
the,
how long they can keep people on the
oh
phone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, yeah, I'm a used car salesman. I'm about to make everybody Poughkeepsie. I want to come down there. I want to sell the shit out of your cars. I'm the best. The best, I say. The best. It's like, I got to, someone comes in there and buy a car from me. I say, look, Jerky, you don't buy this car, I'm going to beat the ever little shit out of it. He's like, sir, you can't really do that. Hey, listen, I'm the best. You bring me down there, I'll do whatever the fuck you need me to do to sell these cars. You know?
Now, what would crack me up is apparently I like the Insane Clown Posse. And
Yeah.
some of their older records, they would do these bits where they're actually calling like the record company,
Yeah.
and they say like like he's like a trucker's like, I got a truck here filled with 40,000 pink pussies for the Insane Clown Posse, and you can hear the person on the other line goes like, oh shit, they're doing this to me again, right? You're like, sir, would you like such and such apartment? It's like, would you like me to transfer? Well, hell yeah, I can't fuck them all myself.
God almighty. Oh.
So I don't know if
Yeah.
they just get that from the Insane Clown Posse themselves, or if like the the Juggalos are calling them up. It's like, because you got to figure as soon as they hear people doing like, oh yeah, we're gonna jump on that wagon.
Yeah, I remember when we first heard the Jerky Boys stuff because we were at West Point, and so a lot of stuff from New York would make its way up.
Mm.
And so this was before they had made it big and did movies and had a CD and everything. There were bootleg copies of their tapes going around New York, and they eventually made their way up to West Point. So you had somebody brought a cassette tape from New York City, and then that bad boy got copied and went around the entire core like wildfire. So everybody was listening to it, And then tape 2 came up, and then to our surprise, these guys from New York City were a bunch, two jerk offs down in New York City making prank phone calls. Next thing you know, they're on CDs. There's a movie from them and everything. They're like,
Yeah.
oh my god. So.
Humble beginnings.
But yeah, we used to laugh so hard. And then there was the one where he calls up and he goes, he calls up a sports shop and he goes, yes. He's like, we have a little problem here. Joey and I were playing with we were putting boiled potatoes in the tennis machine and shooting boiled potatoes at our ass, and it missed his ass and it hit him right in the fucking eye. And now his eye's all swollen up. We need some repair over here.
I remember that one.
Like, God. And he was on the phone with the guy for 10 minutes. He's talking to him about that. And then there was one where he's talking about going into a mattress store. It's like, yeah, Can we get on the mattresses and get freaky? I mean, me and the missus, we get busy. We do some freaky shit in bed, and I don't want to buy a mattress if it's not going to hold up to it. He's like, sir, you can't do that at the store. Are you sure?
You got to pressure test the mattress.
Yeah. So, oh my God. They were out of control. All right. I see Greg is back. I see Greg
I'm
has
back.
tea. I see Jen is back. P is absent because I can see the P gauge on Roll20 has depleted. So
You got your health bar and your P bar.
yes, just like Scott Pilgrim. So
Great. I'm a sim. It's come to this.
Sam, yes.
all right, so we're back. What do you guys want to do?
Hotkey for the PP dance emoji.
Yes.
I mean, Eldon really wants to study that spell book, but I'm not sure how to go about, or that Netherese book, but I'm not sure how to go about doing that other than just reading it.
You can start reading it if you want.
It looks clear.
Yeah, I'll start reading it. Well, I mean, first I think we should eat.
Well, it's late.
Yeah.
But you could definitely get some food. So
Oh yeah. I'm gonna need a few servings. I'm just telling you now.
all right.
I mean, I know how you normally you come down here and you give somebody a normal serving of food, but
You all can
Consider-
get as much food as you want since it's already been paid for by the Lord. So
oh, well that's good. So what are you guys gonna eat if I'm eating that?
Do they have any rabbit?
they do not. They have fish.
Somewhere who done it turns over. What the fuck?
They have
It's like a chill, like, oh.
they
Like
have
someone come across my grave.
they have stuff with whitefish. They've got fillet of whitefish. They've got whitefish soup. They got
What is it
whitefish.
with the whitefish? You keep talking about the whitefish. It's
Yeah.
all about the whitefish. Do you think that's all I have is the whitefish in the blocks?
Yes. They also have something called lox, but you don't know what that is. So
Okay.
Yeah, it looks
I would like a
my
whole
choices.
school of whitefish.
they you suddenly
A
became
whole
Bella Lugosi there for a minute. I'd like a whole school of whitefish.
But I will not drink wine.
Bring me the whitefish. I enjoy it. Children of the night. So, all right.
Well, it looks like this is a place of little means in terms of menu, so I suppose I will have the fish.
That comes with your choice of potatoes and carrots.
Potatoes.
Potatoes. Okay, you get some
Potatoes.
whitefish and potatoes. So you're all served your whitefish and
Right.
either potatoes or carrots. So as you're sitting down, Greg, are you studying the book while you're eating, or are you sitting there? Everybody's talking. So
No, I will study the book later. I
okay,
think
I
we should
figured
keep
he's
it.
going to save that for his room.
so
Yeah.
you can have the meal, no problem, and rest for the evening. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check, please.
Ovek does his usual whirlwind of hands and teeth and flying food as he digests everything.
Okay, and go ahead and give me a Constitution save.
Ooh.
Okay, looks clear.
Huh.
No, Eldon, as you read, the book warms in your hands. It feels warm to the touch now, but pleasingly so. And the words begin to unscramble themselves and take on the appearance of a language you know and understand while still looking like Netherese at the same time. You now have a basic understanding of the Netherese language.
Neat.
And all it cost was your soul.
Yeah, that looks clear.
Wasn't using it.
So all of you wake up the next morning. It's not
Yay,
bright.
long rest.
Although there is some rejoicing as you come out of the inn, you see that several large whales have been harpooned and they've been hoisted up onto huge tack, rope and pulley tacks that so that the bodies are hanging out over the ocean, and the port, the water is filled with blood as they are draining the blood out of these whales and beginning to skin them and take them apart, rendering down. The smell is kind of bad because they're rendering. It's not as bad as last night, but they're rendering down the fat for tallow and for use in lanterns and stuff like that, while they're securing the meat and everything else. So.
Wow.
I
So
see
they
you
ring
got
the bells.
some
Everyone
fresh
runs
whale.
down. Look at those magnificent sea creatures. Let's kill them.
Actually, can I maybe get when you cut a fresh slab of that meat there? Can I get a little piece saved for me for later?
Wow, this is the first time we've seen whales around these parts in over a year. Absolutely. Here you go. You must be good luck. Have some of this. By the way, drink some of this. And he hands it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a con save.
What'd you have?
Crit fail, crit fail, crit fail, crit fail, crit fail.
17.
You get 5 bonus hit points for the day. It's like,
Oh,
you feel invigorated. It's like, I knew you'd love it. That there's whale sperm you just drank.
You know, I heard up around 10 towns they'll actually freeze
but
the
it's
whale
full of
lard
testosterone, apparently.
for the winter.
Freeze the whale's lard. I never heard it. Doesn't get freezing down here, sir. Not at all. But what we do with the lard is we take it and we use it for candles or kerosene and things like that. It's quite useful. And the city folk will pay good money for it as well.
Actually, they use just about every part of the whale that can be used. Nothing goes to waste.
Absolutely.
Well, up in 10 towns, I know they carve the whalebone too. They make quite a trade on that.
As of about 30 seconds ago, I can attest they don't waste anything.
There are quite a few artisans that'll pay well for the whalebone, I'll tell you that. They'll be doing all sorts of things. In fact, I heard there's this new thing that's been discovered in some of the northern towns, this fancy thing called a corset or something, and they put whalebone in it. I don't understand it, but there it is.
I don't know, but could you save me maybe some pieces of bone? I could get into some scrimshaw.
Absolutely. We'll put some bone aside for you.
Appreciate it. I'll pass on the sperm.
Yes, sure. It's good for the body.
It's great for the body, but I can't get this
That
out of my
aftertaste.
mouth. Yeah, it's just it's not something that's gonna go away.
Oh man, this drink's got a little wang to it.
Would you like me to put some into a to-go cup for you for later?
Do you have something a little harder to maybe wash it down?
Well,
I mean, maybe if you could bank this someplace.
he kind of
a bank for the sperm.
he disappears for a moment and comes back with a small.
You killed Greg. You killed Greg.
I mean, come on. Have some sperm. Can we put it in a to-go cup? And the answer is, do you have anything harder?
Not understanding what you're saying. He comes back with a small wooden cup filled with some black liquid. Hands it to you.
I think it's about as hard as the whales are going to get.
This escalated way too fast.
There you go, sir. If you're looking for something harder, and then he gets the joke and he kind of doubles over laughing for a second. Well, if you're looking for something drink that's harder, you can try this.
Okay, I do try the drink.
Which might lead you right back to the other one on the wrong end of town.
Give me another con save, please.
No. 23.
You're pregnant.
as, as you drink it, everyone pauses and watches you, waiting for something, and nothing happens. You drink it.
I
It
start
is-
doing this, focusing in on him.
It is the foulest stuff that you have ever drank. And then he watches you and he goes, "Well, sir, I'll tell you this. You've earned the respect of everyone up here because we are waiting to laugh at you, but I have never seen anyone drink whale bile like you do. Congratulations."
Are there any other bodily fluids you would like from the whale before we go?
I think I'm okay. I think I'm good.
You
Thaddeus
will
is
be a
just-
legend in this town for generations.
Thaddeus is under his breath going like, I cannot leave this godforsaken place soon enough. And then telepathically to Eldon, don't throw any more damn steel in the sea.
Telepathically, he'll reply, I may have saved this town's economy for a few days, but come on.
I really don't think this is salvation myself.
So just to make sure, does Ovac want any more sperm before he leaves? So
No, I'm good.
okay.
Or
You might
does
get
he
5 more
require
hit points.
something- Or does he require something harder?
Yeah. If you go behind the tavern, you might be able to. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not saying.
Stop yourself. Stop yourself
I'm not
now.
going there. Yeah. I
I'm going to
can't
burn
do
you at the stake.
it. Yeah, I can't
So-
even. Here, hold on. I'll put it in the private chat.
Back to the manor.
Eldon will psionically say to Thaddeus, I can't be sure, but I think the ocean is laughing.
I can almost guarantee it.
There we go. All right.
Yep.
You're seeing finger gestures from such a pristine girl.
Yes. Oh Lord. All right. We're just gonna skip over the rest of the day and just go straight back to the long rest because I'm spent. It's over. The world is done. The world just ended.
Let's get
Hey,
back
can
to
we-
crawling through that manor.
Can we go back to death and danger because this has gone way too far?
Yes. All right. I'm just gonna put you guys right back in the library. You can start from there, unless you want to walk.
Yeah,
through
Eldon
the-
will tell the others, I don't think I have any new information per se, but I am beginning to understand the book.
Fascinating.
Maybe a few more nights of study and I'll be able to make sense of it without, summoning any leeching spirits from beyond the veil.
Are you a polyglot?
Not as gifted as some, but I do study.
Go ahead and give me an insight check on that.
All right.
I mean, I speak Gnomish, Elvish, Dwarvish, Common.
20.
But you all of a sudden understand Netherese, so I will leave it to you to make of that what you will. But that was a pretty good insight check, and suddenly your artificer known companion has a working knowledge of a long dead language.
Well,
Or
yeah,
so
but
he's-
even
so
he
he
said
said.
it was kind of weird. He was starting to understand it.
Okay.
I have a question. If Netherese is a long dead language. It's been gone for so long, nobody even knows it.
Mm-hmm.
How would you know if you were looking at it? How would
I
you
don't.
know it was Netherese if you
Because
were looking at it?
people who have you've seen the writing, it's like looking at Sanskrit,
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
or
I don't know how to read Sanskrit, but I know what it looks like.
yeah.
Yeah, and in game terms, Mike, I did do an Arcana check to see if I could recognize. When I did an Arcana check, Nen told me that it appeared to be Netherese.
It's like Ovak
Okay.
in game terms. Like if you looked at magic runes that were spelling out like magic words, you've seen them often enough to know what they look like, but you don't know what the heck they're saying. So
Okay. Okay.
I suppose this is a deficiency on my part. I am not so astute with languages myself, because I have come to rely on the efficacy of my mental prowess instead.
Oh no, I mean,
so
I think the book wants to be read. I don't think I'm just piecing it out.
Do you sense the presence of the wizard when you read the pages?
I did not. Um,
And is Timothy still muttering at you?
I don't think so. No, does Timothy seem okay?
Timothy seems good. Looks clear.
Timothy seems
You
good.
have
I
no
was
idea how
tempted,
much you have poisoned that phrase.
Yes, absolutely.
Fair.
I was tempted to dismantle Timothy and just create a new one, but since that entity seemed to be gone, I thought if there were a conduit not posing any danger, it might be more useful to keep around.
The
If it
terrible
begins
thing.
to
Oh, go
pose
ahead.
any danger, then we take it apart. I mean, it is in the end a construct, as much as I, name it and speak to it. It is a
Timothy
con,
is a tool.
right?
Are you saying Timothy's a tool? How dare you, sir? How
He's
dare you
not
call him
as
a
big a tool as that fella on Andor, but still a tool.
Captain Tool? I've heard of this
Yeah,
guy.
good
So.
old Captain Tool.
Is he
No,
like Maynard level
I'm
of
saying
tool?
Timothy's a construct, and Eldon's just thinking to himself, thinking Thaddeus is a tool.
Unfortunately, I'm not telepathically linked with you. I didn't catch any of that.
Even if I didn't hear it, Oback agrees.
Just his spirit just agrees.
just my spirit is just it joins with you in that statement.
But yes, I don't know if there's danger in studying the book, but I think there is a danger in not understanding what we're doing here. It's
That
definitely more than some small town lord getting in over his head.
we are in agreement. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
So
All right.
should we just keep exploring?
That is what I
The,
would like to do, but I can't read, so this library doesn't help me a lot.
But I never learned to read.
That's right.
I keep going back to that dog commercial where it's like, bacon, 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 bacon. What's it say in the bag? I can't read.
You damn sure bet Oback could track down some bacon, though. All
Let's see.
right,
There's definitely areas in
explore.
this place we have not explored yet, so we must continue on.
That's right.
Okay.
The
Okay.
mystery will not be solved by remaining in one place.
You folks tell me where you want to go.
Okay, let's see.
Well,
Because we came in through here. And it looks like we got a lovely little door over here.
Eldon will check that door to see if it's trapped or locked or whatever.
It's not locked.
Is it trapped?
You can check it,
Sure.
and it looks clear.
Looks clear.
Looks clear, baby.
What the hell? He'll open it.
All right, it is clear.
It's all good in the
Nice.
hood.
And you see a hallway that is probably about 40 feet long with another door at the end. It is dark in here. There are no windows. So a little bit of sunlight is coming in from elsewhere, but everybody jumped on top of Timothy there. So,
Seriously.
man, you all just dogpiled Timothy.
Everybody
Right-
let Timothy
right
to
jumps
marry.
the
Such a
queen.
good sport.
Bishop jumps the queen.
I
It's
will
good
send
it's
Timothy
good to be
down.
the king.
It
So,
is good to be the king.
I will send Timothy down to the end of the hallway.
okay. Piss boy.
Well, you look like a bucket of shit.
Yeah, there's another door at the end. So, what is Timothy going to do? Nothing
He's going to
happens.
try to
Timothy.
open the door.
Okay. Is Timothy able to do that? If it was
I would
not
be
locked or
really
trapped or
impressed
anything
with that.
else.
If
If
not,
it's
I
not
can
locked,
use.
I think so.
How would he turn the knob or pull the handle?
Well, his whatever the hell's at the end of the spider's arms cling to
Mandibles.
things.
Pedal
How's he,
pulse.
is he going to pull open? You know what? We're not going to get into the details.
Okay.
Somehow, miraculously, I mean, you guys are really surprised. I mean, Ovac is just sitting there going. Timothy opens the door, and it is one of the most miraculous things you've seen yet. So,
That is the coolest spider in all of Toril.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Well, I am a believer now.
It's not
Uh,
even a real spider.
beyond, you see a long room with some light coming into it, and
I just walked in, so
all right. This long room is one of Silverlight's more lived-in rooms. The Lord's antechamber was his private retreat, and that's what this room is. Comfortable chairs are positioned around various tables, and decorative pieces fill the room. Moldy cheese and a craft of spoiled wine
jeez.
sit on a side table next to what appears to be the Lord's favorite and well-worn chair. A letter sits next to a half-consumed glass of wine, and a closed door leads to the west, as well as another closed door that leads to the south. Two windows in the north wall look out onto the estate grounds.
Nim, I
Wait.
think you're going to have to move my token. Thaddeus is stuck in the wall.
Thaddeus, what are you doing in the wall?
He was deciding that he didn't need no education after all.
That's right.
now you said there was a letter by half.
He wouldn't eat his
Giant
meat,
glass
so he
of
couldn't
wine?
have his pudding.
There is a letter sitting next to a half-consumed glass of wine. And it's on a side table sitting up next to what appears to be the Lord's favorite and well-worn chair.
Apparently, Thaddeus is still carrying a torch because he's got light around him.
So, I take it you're probably going to search through the room.
Yeah.
But
I
a
didn't
torch.
know you had such strong feelings for me.
There is
First, I want to
a
look at that letter.
okay. Well, the room has
Carrying
a
a
small.
torch for you.
Yep.
The room has a small shrubbery in the one corner, and it is wilted and gray. It looks like it's been neglected for some time, and is dying. There's a long side table that lays across the wall next to the dying shrubbery. Like I said, the windows are open, and you can see the manor lawns outside. There's a 6-foot-tall golden urn with the Silverlight crest in one corner of the room. Various books around the room as well. Like I said,
I go
there
over
is
to the shrubbery and say "knee" to it.
Okay. It looks back at you and offers you a herring, which is a pleasant respite from the whitefish. So there it is.
Weren't the other urns we saw silver?
Yes.
Yes.
And this one is gold.
Oh, that's right. You know what? Let's
Pure gold.
take a
Yeah, I'd like to
good
inspect the
look-see.
urn.
Yeah, I'll inspect this one. 'Cause there was
Uh,
some weirdness with the previous urns.
Looking at the
Things
golden
dropping into
urn,
darkness.
how do you inspect it?
Well, for one,
Knowing Thaddeus, he looks at it for a really long time. He just stares right at it.
And you stare long enough at the urn, you'll find the urn stares back at you. So
this urn is the abyss.
yes.
Oh shit.
This urn is clean.
It looks clear. Like I'll use the torch to peer down, see if it's this bottomless well of inky blackness like the previous ones were.
You actually see the bottom of the urn.
Yeah.
Oh. It's just an empty urn?
No, it doesn't appear to be any existential horrors in this one.
That seems like a lot of money for a container for air.
Yeah, I'll look around and in the other one just to make sure that one's empty too.
Why make an urn out of gold and then have nothing in it? Something had to have been in it before, right?
Rich people, dude.
You know, Ovak,
looking-
sometimes you do make a cogent point.
Looking at the urn and investigating it, Carl, you look at it and look at everything else in the room. Go ahead and give me a religion check, Carl.
This guy worships Scrooge McDuck.
We'll find his room full of swimming gold before long.
That's right.
You note that gold was supposed to be related to the good god of the sea, and that steel, which has a silver or metal appearance, was associated with Umberland.
So the former urns were pretty bad. These are okay.
Or the
Different-
Lord of the Manor was appropriately trying to pay some sort of honor to both of the gods of the sea on which his town's welfare depended.
I'm not a big expert on gods or deities or worshiping them in general. But
Or
It seems
reading
to
or
me-
general knowledge.
yes, but it seems to me that if you have two gods, which I mean, they're usually fairly picky about who their followers are following. Maybe having two gods that might conflict with each other under the same roof sounds like a battle waiting to happen.
Sometimes you hedge your bets.
He was a politician.
He is a politician, that's right. Playing both sides.
So this is the letter that you all found.
Lord Bellastorm, my agents inform me you have breached our arrangements. This is unacceptable. You are to immediately allow the passage of my agents and their cargo. Failure to do so will result in my displeasure at you and your family's misfortune. M. Sife.
Another name to look into. But I mean that tracks. He got a report from his investigator about this cult trafficking things through, possibly tried to put a stop to it, and now he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, that phrase cracks me up. This will result in my displeasure. Just the phrasing of it, I don't know.
It's better than her distemper, you know. So
Right.
Especially if you're a tabaxi.
For sure.
so you have found this letter.
You think a spray bottle is bad for a tabaxi?
And it seems like someone was reading when they were interrupted.
I still want to do that now. I wanted to back player so I can have somebody I just spray bottle them.
It does seem like somebody was reading it, and it was just they were interrupted. So sitting there next to a half glass of wine and all the other stuff. So
And now,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because it hasn't been that long in game terms, but how long ago did this lord die?
it's been the time it took to travel, at least 3 weeks.
Yeah, but not long.
No,
Yeah, this isn't like an ancient rundown place like in the Candlekeep game.
No, but the manor is full of shadows and shrouded in mist that quickly.
Yeah, it seems usually for that sort of gathering of ill will and necrotic forces, you would expect there to be a great deal of time to attenuate the gathering of such evil, or a place usually has to have a great history of violence and despair and depravity, so that this gets absorbed into the walls and the foundation and reemerges in spectral forms and whatnot.
Do we know if the Silent Hill treatment started after his death or before? Have we asked?
it started on the day he died.
On the day he died.
So effective immediately. That is most peculiar. So, that means there had to have been, I would say, an active curse involved of some sort, be it arcane or divine magics, is yet to be understood. Definitely not beyond the purview of many in this world. It sounds like this Mr. Seafay had resources at his disposal to make sure that his displeasure did lead to a family's misfortunes.
Or her.
Or her, indeed. Well,
The plot thickens.
indeed it does.
Thaddeus,
We have-
did you check the bush to see if there was a hidden cavity within?
I have not. I suppose I will investigate the shrubbery.
I have a very juvenile mind. That's all I'm going to say.
There is a.
I was right there with you. I'm holding back a laugh right now.
Did you do that
I
on
know.
purpose? Jennifer, did you do that on purpose? Am I looking for the cavity beneath the shrubbery? Are you trolling me? Is my wife trolling me?
Somebody was off for it.
Let's all give Janet a round of applause.
My friggin' wife was trolling me, damn it. And she got me. I didn't catch it.
You get a point of inspiration for the next 4 games for that. That was outstanding.
A little bit.
You know, if you trim it down a little, then what Opak was looking for may be easier to find.
And now
Well,
it's recorded forever and ever.
Unfortunately, for those who have gotten to know Avak well, he's never found what's underneath the trimmed bush. So,
See,
That's right.
and see, this is how Jennifer gets me, because she doesn't throw out these sort of gross jokes like we do all the time. It's like I don't see him coming. It totally catch me off guard.
I was right there with you, Jen. I was just like,
As soon as she said that, I'm like covering my mouth, trying not
See,
to
if one
laugh.
of you
I'm like,
guys-
no, I'm not gonna bite onto that. No.
If
no.
one of you guys said it, I'd have been like, "Oh, come on!" But like, no, she freaking boomerangs me with that shit. Flies over my head, then comes back and nails me.
Well done, well done. I think I don't know if you have a point of inspiration, but I think you deserve one.
oh, I said she gets inspiration for the next 4 games for that, because not only did she
Absolutely.
say it, she got Jeff with it too. That was
Worth it.
fantastic.
I accept the L. I cannot deny.
Yeah, Thaddeus doesn't know what he's looking for in the bush, so he doesn't.
I don't see anything. Yeah, Thaddeus really hasn't paid much attention to the bush in his lifetime.
Yeah.
He's one of those confirmed bachelor, kind of like Victorian
Yeah.
area guys. I'm not saying he's gay or anything, but
Not
He
that
doesn't
there's
know much
anything
about the-
wrong with that.
not there's anything wrong with that, but he doesn't know much about the bush.
Eldon just pushes over and says, "Get out
I'm
of
not
the
that
way.
kind.
Let
Eldon,
someone
on
who
the other
knows
hand.
what he's doing get in here."
Eldon is experienced.
Eldon's been in the bush a time or two.
Eldon, sadly, it's just a bush.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, he is the right height.
Oh my God.
It's a
Face
It's a-
height.
it's a
That
bush that
quiet
hasn't
chick
been.
over there, she's gonna be my best friend. Watch.
It's a bush that hasn't been maintained for a while, but it's just a bush. So.
He is. I would say Eldon is the right height, and he can freely create things with 8 vibrating legs. So you take it from there.
We're all going to hell. And I'm
Yeah,
taking you all with
Eldon
me.
brings out his little scissors and he's doing some bonsai treatment to the bush. We'll make this neat and pretty.
Anybody want to roll to bedazzle it or anything? Or are we good? Can we
Oh
move
God,
on?
I've seen pictures of a jazzle
Yeah. Oh my God.
on DeviantArt for those of you who care to look.
I'm waiting for Nicole to come back here and give me the look. It's coming. I can feel it. I can feel the look from way the hell on the other side of the house right now. So
It's like her.
I'm
her
suddenly
pervert
hoping
tendencies
that if my
tingling.
daughter watches one of these games, it's not this one.
don't watch that.
Dad, your friends are gross.
You have no idea. So
Is that what happens to all old people, Dad? Do you just become a bunch of perverts?
yes.
Yes, you see, we're immature when we're young, and then we get too immature. We get too mature for all of that, and then we kind of demature when we get older.
Oh, I was never too immature for all that, but that's a whole other thing. All
You
right.
just stop hiding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get to a point where we just don't care anymore, right? Oh.
When
Eldon-
you're old enough, you got enough aches and pains, you just stop giving a fuck about all that.
Yeah.
Right? There it is
Eldon
right there.
does want to take a quick whiff of the wine to see if it's just been sitting out for 3 weeks.
It smells like it's beginning to turn vinegary, so yeah, it does smell like it's just been sitting out.
And whale sperm.
Well, that's a whole other thing.
No, that's my breath. I haven't brushed my teeth.
Yeah, good thing he can hold his whale sperm and he doesn't regurgitate it into the bush. That's all I'm saying. So,
You find the
or
we come back
we-
and we find it's a bush with a couple of little shrubs.
yeah, we might have a real tragedy on our hands. So,
The bush
Vaguely
is like child
well-shaped.
support.
a half orc, half whale, half bush, whatever it is. So, the swamp thing. So,
Yeah, swamp thing. He'll be a
Oh,
Trork, a Trent ogre, the Trork, the Trent orc. All right, I'm gonna actually go investigate this door.
I'm 52, and the D&D games I play now are no different than the ones I played when I was 12. Except that they all have a lot more experience to play off of. They really do. We're better at telling these kinds of jokes now because we know what the hell we're talking about. So,
That's right. In our days, we didn't have the internet to expose all the mysteries to us ahead of time.
we were just guessing.
We had no idea what felching was.
Oh my god. All right. What were you gonna do, Eldon?
Oh, Eldon just typed, and thus did the ends come into being. But
Eldon's
Right. I'm examining the door,
yeah,
checking to make sure it looks okay, nothing weird about it.
okay.
Little trap check.
Did you give me a roll?
I am about to.
It looks clear.
I will stand off a bit and I will use my telepathic powers to open the door because I don't expect 75 points of damage from exploding lava spikes.
Eldon will step over here.
You know what I'd love to
Fortunately-
do?
Yeah.
Is watch all of you go through numerous doors and everything's fine until you get right up to that one door where it's not fine, and I'm just sitting there going,
Oh,
yeah.
dude. Fridays with Pops, I'm playing the Tomb of Annihilation,
Yeah.
and we're like we're on Asterak's tomb, and like we're just as snake bit in that as we are in the Phandalin 5, because the first 3 corridors we hit all had pressure plate traps, and we're just setting off everything, and it's all like heavy damage. Like, okay, can we not walk on anything? How can we avoid walking?
Yeah.
And if Indiana Jones has taught us anything, don't lean up against anything either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. You are in a hallway. This is not an actual opening; it's a window that you're standing next to, Eldon. So
this is the window
Okay.
right here.
yep. And
Hold
you
on.
see something.
Where's my spider's footstool? I can't find my spider footstool.
You see something float by.
Wait, does he legit see something float by, or are you making a joke?
No, he legit sees something float by. So
But it
Um,
looks like
I
it's
didn't eat the
looking.
cheese this time.
in the hallway or on the other side of the window?
on the other side of the window.
This thing?
Yep.
The other side of the window looks like it's looking into a room, though.
It is.
It is. And then you see another thing float by after it, and it looks like one of those rust monster things, but it looks like a shadow as
It's
well.
the Warrior's Bane, but
Okay,
ninja
I am
style.
not going to try and feed this one. As I recall, I didn't know what it was last time, and I tried to approach it as if it might be friendly, and it started eating my sword.
And
It
I will
seems like a
say
fairly
that-
harmless creature.
Right?
peering into this window, all of you recognize this room because this was the room where you almost died from several shadows that chased you out of this area.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Coral and Thaddeus don't recognize it because they've
Nope,
never run
I
from
was
the
not
shadows.
here.
I
I
fear not
definitely was not
shadow
here.
or flame. I am a servant of the secret fire.
That's what you're calling it now, huh?
Secret fire.
The tavern witch is calling it a hell of a mess she has to go clean up. That's what she's calling it.
She's like, I need prestidigitation so badly.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
need one level of wizard, or maybe like just a feat, something, please. But I'm a commoner with 4 hit points.
I don't think prestidigitation's going to take that.
No. It's going to take a crew of 30 people 6 days to wipe that down.
Got to summon a water elemental.
I think they should
Summon a
just
water
burn it.
elemental that will never forgive you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they should just burn it and
Don't
build a
call
new
me
one.
again. Yeah,
Lose my number.
that's right.
All right. So you're looking into this room and you see these creatures just kind of wandering around.
So
Are they
this
the
is what
same shadow creatures we saw before?
Yes. Although
Oh,
one
shit.
looks like a rust monster. Give me a perception check, everybody who's looking in this window, please.
All right. So this is what attacked y'all previously, eh?
Yeah, it. You said perception check?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, we this attacked us before, and we ran for our lives because that was our only option. 12.
Okay. Coral and Eldon. The other two of your companions are kind of like ducking and trying not to be seen, but into this dim room. But you're able to look long enough to notice that sitting at one of the tables right here You can see the blue.
Yep.
There appears to be a body, an actual corpse, sitting in a high back chair.
We're never gonna go hungry again.
Yeah.
Beef jerky in England?
Was there a corpse in there when we went in there?
You were never able to look around long enough. You basically walked in and were immediately attacked.
Yeah,
And then you immediately got the hell out. So
yeah.
Cowards.
We're the cowards in that scenario.
Well, the big barbarian and the paladin turned tail and ran, so the little artificer wasn't going to try and make a stand by himself.
I really thought Greg was going to get smoked on that.
everyone go ahead and give me a intelligence check. Because I'm assuming Eldon and Coral point out to everyone else the body sitting there.
Yeah.
Big shocker, I got a -1 on this one.
And I'm pretty sure you're not
So
going
What?
13.
What? No, Thaddeus, no. How could you fail me like this?
Oh, man.
do you want to
8.
use inspiration?
I think I want to use inspiration.
no.
I'm gonna.
I do.
13 is about right for Ovac's
Oh my
intelligence
God.
save.
It did worse.
Yeesh. That was not worth
Lord.
it. Oh,
Oh, I did too.
Jennifer.
Oh, damn.
This room is cursed.
All right, hold on. What? Both of you guys totally critted that crit failed
Crit,
that?
are you trying to make it a hat trick? I mean, maybe it'll be the flip side because Eldon's not that bright. He'll like crit fail.
Well, it doesn't
crit,
look like
yes.
much of any of us did all that good on that intelligence roll. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if one of us should. I can give somebody my inspiration if they want to re-roll.
It's totally up to you.
You know, if you want to give it, I'll re-roll. Since
Okay, I'll give it to
I
you.
got the 18.
Because that intelligence roll for Thaddeus was pretty sad.
That was remarkably bad.
That's a little better.
A little better.
Looking at the body, Thaddeus, and looking at the clothes, you deduce.
He
'Cause
looks
you
like
are-
the Lord of the Manor.
Yes, he does. You may have found his body.
Yeah.
Is there anything in front of him on the table?
That's a good question.
Is he really stiff, or can we still put him in poses?
I mean, how hard do you want him to be? Still
Really?
I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it.
I actually
See,
didn't
that's
mean it
no
that
back
time.
question.
Well, when it's stiff is when you want to touch it.
Yeah. Not me.
If you can't love yourself, then you can't love anybody else.
Well, damn,
No.
I must love everyone.
There's some rotten food, or there's some what looks like food and wine in front of him. And that's about it.
Wait, is it cheese? Was it the cheese that killed him?
There might be some cheese there.
It was the salmon mousse.
I tell you, before this is over, Nim is going to create a homebrew cheese golem.
Oh yeah, it's coming. It's coming in the other game though. So
Here comes
We
the
already
blue
had the
cheese golem.
Golgothan make an appearance in CCP.
Yeah, the Golgothan, yes. Somewhere
We just
Kevin
had
Smith
people
just got a
that
big
made
smile.
an appearance in town last night, Ovac.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
hey, you guys are gonna come back and find the town is destroyed. Golgotha killed everybody.
I ate some bad cheese and some in the Golgothan. What can I say?
Does anyone
All right.
find it weird that this man was reading a threatening letter, got up, walked away, left his wine there, and then apparently sat down in the parlor to have some dinner?
People sometimes act unexpectedly when under duress, especially if one feels quite powerless. It can be from taking very drastic actions to, well, putting your head in the sand and trying to go about your day like nothing is wrong.
So
People are
contemplating that,
strange.
I want to peek around the corner over here.
Left
I'll
the one.
take a look with you.
Okay. You see more of a hallway?
Very long hallway.
That I can't stop being just completely
Just
a
totally
Did you
child.
go there
derailed it.
too with the hallway thing?
Yes.
Damn it.
Wait,
Uh,
did we just find the back rooms?
maybe.
The hitless corridor.
All right. You see a long corridor. You see a door on the east wall, and then the corridor ends. Though it looks like it bends off to the west.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, I'm not in for going into the room with the shadow creatures that just about killed us within a few seconds. I say we go west.
Go ahead and give me one more perception check, Eldon and Ovek, real quick.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one.
21.
Wow.
Wow. Both of you
The monster.
notice some other corpses lying on the floor in the
Oh.
room.
Can we see anything about them?
It's too dark at this point, and they're all huddled together. They're further into the room, but they looks
Huddled
like
together.
there's no blood around them. They're just collapsed onto the ground.
Are
They
they?
look like
Can we tell how they're dressed? Are they dressed like servants? Are they wearing armor?
Um, give me a second. You notice that they look to all be guards, although two of them, no, there are two that are guards and two that look to be dressed in better clothes, but with the Lord's badge of service on their the front of their garment when you can see it, where you can see it.
Perhaps victims of the shadows?
Probably. Man,
The scenario I'm imagining in my head is the Lord is in there, the guards come in to defend him or rescue him, and they are killed.
someone got pissed off at this man and sent in shadows and rust monsters.
well, that's the case though. Like coming and checking out the state of the bodies with you. I noticed that the guards looked like they were indeed in a scuffle and then cowered in fear as their end came. And yet the
You'll
whole
know,
time the Lord stays seated as if he is accepting the inevitable. Oh, he was killed very quickly.
give me a either intelligence or wisdom check for everybody, whichever is better for you.
Um, well, at least wisdom doesn't have a minus score to it.
That's always good.
Dear God, they suck at these.
17.
Nice. Um,
I'm on the edge of 17.
My favorite Stevie Nicks song.
Ovek and Thaddeus and Coral, you all notice that both of the guards, their shields have dropped right next to them, and their swords were never drawn from their scabbards.
What the
They were
hell?
caught unawares.
Now that's peculiar.
So
Why
they
not
just
at
all
least,
died where they stood.
again, it would had to have been very quickly.
Yeah, I think D might be onto something there. That they they had to have been caught unawares, like she said.
Hmm.
Otherwise, they would have had their weapons drawn. If they were even thinking about a battle happening, their
or,
weapons would have been drawn, right?
or they were paralyzed.
Even in cases of hopelessness, a small mouse will fight as fiercely as a lion to defend itself from an adder when backed into a corner.
Two more shadows move into your line of sight as you're watching.
Son of a bitch, this room is full of these things.
Okay.
Hmm. I
Are there
began to
any
see why you were all so
shadows
easily
have
overwhelmed.
discernible features?
What's that?
Do shadows have any discernible features?
Uh, Let me double check on that. I know what I want to say, but I want to check.
I picture them with a silhouette of a humanoid shape.
Yeah, my
Well,
memory of
that's
the
what.
lore is my memory of the lore is they're very vague in appearance.
Yeah, they're amorphous. So
Okay. Maybe it wasn't a creature at all. Maybe it was a spell or a curse or something. And maybe those shadows are the guards.
Ooh, I just thought of a nasty thing that I'm not going to say because Nim will use it against us.
as if I hadn't thought of it already. Come on.
I see you thinking about it, Jeff. Don't do it.
He's trying to bait me into it. He's trying to bait me into it. Is what he's doing.
Excellent.
Can you resist the history eraser button? The shiny red candy-like button.
Did y'all check out the other door down the hallway last time that we weren't here?
I vote with, I'm with D. Let us go west and quit standing here where shadows can see us.
You mean this door right here, Jen?
Yeah.
Yes.
They have not gone through that door.
And these shadows are just wandering about seemingly aimlessly.
Yes.
All right.
Why are we not? Why are we going
Action
east?
hero style. Just bust through the window. Like, let's get this thing going.
Be my guest.
I am not the physical sort.
Okay.
Well, yeah. When you've done more than read about a battle, maybe you might think differently.
I have been in a number of battles since joining this motley crew.
The window, the panel
But
to
you
the
have
window
not learned from them, apparently.
has been slid open. You could go through the window if you wish to.
Maybe if we had Nikki Six with us.
There you go.
Nope.
Are you going
That's,
to kickstart your heart? Is that what you're going to do?
yeah, right on.
I don't know. I think Ovak would be more of a Tommy Lee fan than Nikki Six.
I'm not sure how to take that.
Hard.
Yeah, I'm going to check out this.
Don't be too hard on yourself, Ovak.
All right.
Eldon's not sure what's going on, but everyone was wandering this way, so he followed them.
It does not seem like that room is the. Well, we don't have the best way of entry without being able to secure our exit. Going through the window is a bit precarious, so I say we continue on this way.
Okay, but that room does contain the man whose murder we were enlisted to investigate.
Oh no, we will get there, but I want a better way of egress and exit than a window. Should we need to be forced into yet another retreat. I will use telekinesis to see if this door is locked.
It is not locked.
I'll step on through.
To the other side.
That's right.
All right. You see it looks to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, about 50-foot long hallway with a window at the end that you could see some of the Manor estate on beyond it. And there is a door to the north and a door to the south.
This is quite an extensive manor, I must say. A veritable labyrinth of passages and doors.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
It's a bit excessive. How is it you put it earlier? Rich folk?
Yeah.
Either that or it was designed by the Winchesters.
When we find a
I don't-
stairway that leads to a drop, we'll know.
Okay.
Elden will check this door to the north for traps. Who's that?
That's a sofa.
You check the door for traps, and it looks clear.
His roll sucked tonight. Is it locked?
It is locked.
Oh, it's the first locked door in a while.
Well, let's see how this goes.
Surely Eldon has the thieves' tools.
16.
You hear a satisfying click as the door is unlocked.
All right. Take that, Will Wheaton.
Elden opens the door. Elden closes the door.
So,
Put
You
your
peek.
right foot in, you take your right foot out.
when you peeked in, unlike the remainder of the manor, the kitchen, which you saw beyond, was warm and lit by a fire slowly burning in the corner oven. The dedicated cooks and staff who had worked hard to prepare the finest meals for the Lord, his guests and staff, lay scattered about the floor, dead. Some are still holding their tools of trade or stores. Their death, it seems, was quick and mercifully painless. Flames flicker rhythmically, casting a dance of shadows around the wall, and you saw several of those shadows moving around the room before you hastily and quietly close the door.
Okay. The kitchens, this is what Elden's telling the others. The kitchen staff fell where they were standing, dead. There are shadows wandering about, and the oven's lit.
How's that possible after 3 weeks? Unless they're
Someone's
using a...
obviously been keeping it lit, or there's magic involved. I didn't take the time to make that determination.
I suppose.
And the door was locked. So either they were trying to keep something out or something locked them in.
Lock them in for the agents of their demise.
The door was locked. How often is a kitchen door locked in a manner like?
When you all encountered these shadow creatures before, could they pass through solid objects like spirits?
I don't know if they could. I don't believe that they did.
So a locked door could effectively keep them trapped in.
I'm beginning to think these shadows are acting like whatever they were before they were shadows. Guards guarding the parlor, people in the kitchen keeping the fire burning.
Until they counter a living being and then aggression.
Yeah, but maybe they just turn it into one of them and then go about their business.
I'm going to use my telekinesis to see if this door is locked or not.
It is not locked, and it opens.
Let's take a quick peek.
Would
You
you-
peek in and you see a storeroom is full of foodstuffs and consumables for the running of the manor and estate. It's packed with barrels and crates. The room has a clear pathway between the kitchen and the servants' room to the south. You hear squeaks and see several large bodies dive between bags and barrels, and you recognize them immediately as rats, and you lick your lips.
I shut the door. Well, it seems there's no place where food stores have been safe. There are, how shall I phrase this, rats of enormous size.
I don't believe in them.
Perhaps even
I don't believe they
unusual
exist.
size.
I don't think they exist.
Watch where you step. There might be a puff of flame.
But we're higher than level 1.
Well then, rats, I would say, are much more easily dealt with than shadowy specters.
The supply room was unlocked.
It did.
That would lead me to think that the kitchen staff did, in fact, try and lock themselves in.
But then became shadows.
Perhaps the shadows had another way of entering the kitchen. Perhaps they came down the flue of the chimney to where the cooking fires are.
I can't
All
remember.
through.
I can't remember exactly how it went down, but wasn't a shadow able to sneak into the room and kill a guy back in the back at the hotel we were in, the inn, when we first started this? The
I-
upstairs, the guy got assassinated, and we
Yeah.
determined that it was a shadow that had assassinated him. Wasn't the shadow able to sneak into that room somehow? Was it just the secret passageway, or was the shadow able to sneak in, say, via shadows?
I have to go back in and watch that part of it. I
You
don't
would have.
recall.
You were never able to. It was just suddenly there. The shadow was there. So there's quite a good chance that it might have gone in through the shadows. So only the shadow knows.
Mm-hmm.
What evil lurks in the heart of Silverlight Manor?
Yes. Yeah. Before we get into a fight, I think I'm gonna call it here. I'm starting to feel
Yeah,
pretty weird.
that's fine. It's like,
yeah, that's
because
cool.
we're probably not going to get through a fight right tonight anyway.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
let me
I'm.
let me let me pull this out.
And if you're not feeling so good,
Yeah.
Yep.